everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up, good people? What's going on? We're back again to wrap this thing up on a Friday. I see 20 people already came in 1 minute. That ain't bad numbers. Getting everything set up here on Friday. Sometimes I don't have a topic. I just freestyle it for an hour, and then sometimes it ends up going for 5 hours if the panel opens up and everything get to popping and going good. See people coming on in here. Had a great show. Normally on the Freestyle Friday show, we start recapping the previous show, or y'all go ahead and drop something in the comment section, and then we talk about that, then open it up. Y'all know how we do. But man, that yesterday's show was a good one. And I got interesting comments. It was a comment that I'm probably going to read on the air because, well, the intention of the last show, contrary to, I won't even say popular belief. I'll say more so the belief of a few individuals. One female commenter, whose name I don't remember. I'm going to look up her name, going to look up the comment. But yeah, she absolutely convinced that the goal and objective yesterday was to just take a shit on Derrick Jackson and try to stop him from getting his bag. Like we gonna take money out of Derrick Jackson's pocket. We gonna take food out the mouth of his children. That was what she interpreted. No. We were debating and discussing whether or not he was giving good advice or bad advice. And I thought it was a lot of bad advice that if women actually did half of what he said, it would be counterproductive. The other half of it is all right, we can rock with it. But without further ado, let me shout out to Earlybird Squad. The people that made it in bright and early, got the first comments in before the show even officially got started. My man, the Mac, the trucker, always make it in first. He says, I like Freestyle Friday. What's up, everyone? Stoic One be getting in bright and early every day. Well, salute to you, Stoic One. Excalibur, Leo Anthony in the building. Marine 70, Sugar G, D Anderson, Hurricane Henry, the Perfect Storm. My man Ty City in the building. He says, the Mac the Trucker, thanks for the cash app I got after the stream. I appreciate the support. Yeah, the Mac the Trucker always showing the love. Always. Sheila E, good morning to you. Kevin Paris, Internal Stoic One again. Mr. Bowtie, Ty City, back again. What's good? See who else we got in here. Black Torch, Naima Buckner. the Bunker TV says Derrick Jackson is guilty of Ninny Babble. I mean, I don't even know what that means. But anyway, Leo Anthony says, I don't think that's possible. Women love men telling them what they want to hear more than the truth. Ain't that the truth? Mr. Pump and Dump was good. I think we got enough of the Earlybird Squad. Third Ward, I can't even talk this morning. Third Ward Colombian says, good morning, bro. Complex Design. What's happening? All right. Oh, and J.I. All right, I think I got it. I think I covered the Early Bird Squad. Everybody who made it in bright and early, appreciate you, brothers. But yeah, People were convinced we trying to get Derrick Jackson's bag taken away. Like, no, I'm not flagging videos. I'm not running a smear campaign, and it's a lot of little shit out there to smear him about. Obsidian may say some of that stuff on his show, but I ain't about to smear. I'm about either you're making sense or not making sense. You're either right or you're wrong. If you're a dating coach of some sort, you're either giving good advice or bad advice, and we will analyze that advice. And then the girl, she went on to say in the comments, because I went back and forth with her a little bit in the comment section. Not that much. Other people went back and forth with her, actually a lot more than what I did, because I wasn't up for it. I wasn't down for going back and forth that much. I just said a little something and then kept it moving. But the comment sections are kind of moving. Oh my goodness. Her name is Lakendra Spigner. Her first initial comment was, seems like somebody is trying to stop his bag. How about embrace his concept and maybe your platform will elevate? I took one for the team listening to this BS, and you're still here. You're still here in the comment section. So you're saying you took one for the team, you're still taking it. You could take one for the team and walk off. But if she says, how about embrace his concept? I wonder what she means by that. Is she saying pander to women and tell them what they want to hear, regardless of whether or not it is good advice that's going to be beneficial? Is that what she's saying? And maybe your platform will elevate. I think my platform has elevated quite well, given the time that I've put in. So I'm pleased with the progress of my platform. But however, I did ultimately respond by saying the goal of the video was to analyze whether or not he's giving women good advice or bad advice. What's wrong with that? Then she later came back with some words. Let me shout out a super chat that just came in through the building. J.I. for the tricking fun. Now, whoa, hold on now, Negro. I do not be talking about tricking on this show. Who told you I be tricking? God damn it. Let me just throwing that on me. I've done little to no tricking. Well, okay, I have I've never did any flat foot tricking. I've gotten money and perks weaseled out of me. I've overpaid for some pussy that I didn't even get. I'll say that. J.I. says, you don't trick. No, not deliberately. I mean, I don't do nothing now. I'm in a relationship with one woman, and according to some in these spaces, that is tricking. That is tricking, according to some. You are tricking. But no. As far as like flat out tricking, like tricking. No. I don't do that kind of tricking. I don't got 75. No. Okay, here we go. Ty City is the mattress giant. That's why I said I've done some things that could be interpreted as tricking. But that wasn't really tricking. That was just a gift to somebody who I was already, having sex with without doing that. So that was just a gift, That was a gift. For those that don't know, I bought some air mattresses. Well, yeah, talking about Game Changers stove. I bought some air mattresses for a single mother many moons ago, long time ago, long time ago, in 2015. So yeah, a woman that I was had a sexual relationship with. She wasn't my girlfriend, but had a sexual relationship for had a sexual relationship with her for about 2 weeks. Let me read this super chat real quick. Thank you for the super chat. Leo Anthony says $2 for adding me to the Ranch Squad. Long overdue, my brother. Long overdue. But yeah, had a sexual relationship for about 2 weeks. She was coming to my house, I guess, to get away from her little shitstorm she had over at her house. I was like her little getaway. We would come over here and we would kick it, chill, get it in, have some sex, fall asleep to a movie on Netflix, shit like that. And then so after 2 weeks of that, of her coming through, 2-3 times a week, we finally went to her house and I saw how she was living. And she wasn't living that well over there. And I was like, damn, this is some, no, the house was clean. She made sure the house was clean. Everything was not clean. She didn't have much. She just didn't have much. And for some reason, I don't know the genesis or the story behind it. There was no beds in her kid's room. And I was just like, damn, they like slept on the couch at night. She didn't ask for it, but I just, out the kindness of my heart, paid $40 for some air mattresses. Paid $40 for some air mattresses for the kids, because I love the kids. Bernard love the kids. So yeah, I did that. I did that. I was trying to help lighten the blow on Game Changer on Stovegate and said, hey, I bought some air mattresses. But she said, you're asking me, you said, did I buy a stove? Now, the funny thing about that question is, real quick, before I tell you what's really funny about this, you asking me that question, let me read this super chat first. Thank you to Mac the Trucker for the super chat. In these spaces, buying a chick a bottle of water is considered triggering and simping. For some, yeah. But shout out to the old man when he says fair exchange is no robbery. And I, happily did that. Now, there are some arguments that could be made. And I heard a woman make this argument that when you do anything for baby mamas who are on welfare, excuse me, when you do anything for baby mamas that are on welfare, you are essentially contributing to the welfare mindset. She didn't say welfare mindset, but you are funding her welfare lifestyle. So shout out to Zero. Walk away from welfare pussy. So I think I was indulging and dabbling into welfare pussy in that sense. So yeah, I was funding her. I was making her situation easier. Got how many kids? She had a lot of kids by, multiple men. It was all. But let me get back to this comment. He said, "Did I buy her a stove?" It's so funny that you asked that question, because it didn't dawn on me until the whole stove changer thing start going on, the whole stove thing with Game Changer. And by the way, we can make stove jokes, but we don't bring up all the other bullshit over here. I want to see none of that in the chat. Yeah, so don't just making that clear. We can say we can make stove changer, Stove and Seagal, Stovey Wonder jokes. We can do that kind of shit. But all the other bullshit that y'all know what I'm talking about, we don't talk about that here. Y'all see it deleted. But the chick, she had a stove in her house, but it was broke. And she cooked. I saw her cook on a little small electric skillet. Like she cooked, and it was like, an entree and like 2 or 3 sides cooked all in the same skillet. So it was like the meat or whatever she cooked first was cold. Put it like this. I ate over there and it was like, okay, why is 3/4 of this meal cold and only 1/4? Well, okay, half of the meal was cold. Let's just say, for example, the meat in the mashed potato, the meat was cold, the mashed potatoes was cold, The green beans was lukewarm and the corn was hot because she had to cook it all one at a time because you only cooked it on one electric skillet. And I'm like, what the hell? I was sitting there and I don't know if she had a microwave. I don't even think she had a microwave. So, yeah, that was the situation. She was cooking the whole meal on an electric skillet, on one single electric skillet. So I say the whole stove changer thing is funny, and he asked me to buy her a stove. No, I didn't buy her a stove, but she for damn sure needed one. Oh yeah, don't get me laughing in the chat. Yeah, silly. Yeah, Paul G, man, it was 3/4 cold. It was 3/4. Mr. Bowtie said on the next episode of Struggle Chef. But hold on though. The food was delicious. The food was delicious. Just whatever she cooked first was cold. Whatever she cooked second was cold. The third thing she cooked was lukewarm, but the last thing that came off the stove was piping hot and ready to go. I just wish she would have cooked the meat last because I'd rather the meat be hot. I eat some cold mashed potatoes. Give me a nice hot pork chop, damn good. You know that. No, she couldn't have had a microwave, otherwise she would have microwaved it before she gave it to me. So I'm just convinced she didn't have a microwave. So no. Y'all stupid. Y'all ain't shit. The Master Trucker said she could have made it on Hell's Kitchen. David Monroe says if she can't manage her skillet, she can't manage her life. She did a good job managing that skillet. She got the job done. And I was wondering why it seemed like she was in there cooking for too long. I cooked pretty fast because it's different schools of thought on that. See, some people don't think you're supposed to dirty up all the skillets when you cook. But no, I don't care. I have all 4 eyes going. If it's 4 things that I'm cooking that's related to the meal, it's all going at the same time. It's all getting done at the same exact time. It's all, getting on the plate, smoking hot. Dan Christopher says, so her skillet game was strong. Yeah. She did the thing with that little electric skillet. Mr. Bowtie says, throw the meat in the oven. No, the stove was broke. The oven was broke. It was a no-go. That stove was there just for decorations. The motherfucker was clean though. I mean, it was nice and shiny. Looked like she, cleaned it daily to make it, Look at Naima in here with that. She on that bullshit. Say she should have made you some spaghetti. I'm glad she didn't, because I didn't know nothing about that spaghetti hustle. I didn't know nothing about that then. She could have got me. Complex says, Naima Buckner, you cannot make spaghetti in a skillet. I beg to differ. Because you can, cooking the noodles will be a little difficult in a skillet. I'll give you that. Cooking the noodles will be a little difficult in the skillet. But it can be done. You can't make enough noodles for the spaghetti. You can't have enough noodles for a lot of people, put it like that. It'll probably, I don't know. But it could happen. It could happen. The Mac the trucker says I should have got her a crock pot. Well, as long as it took her to cook that shit, it might as well have been on a crock pot. Might as well. That shit took forever. And I couldn't figure out why until later when I walked in there. I was like, oh, she's doing it all on one skillet. Yeah, I don't even know how we got into this. Oh, yeah, because Ty City said said something about tricking. And then Ty City said the mattress king. Man, there's the link. There's a link in the chat. Ah, there you go. He says just use macaroni instead of noodles. You're talking about goulash. But you know what? The house that I'm in now, because a lot of people that listen to me know that I bought my house on the cheap. It was a foreclosed house it's a bad market out here. The property value is low in some small towns in Michigan. And this was a foreclosed house that I was able to pay cash for, but it had some problems. So it was some electrical problems. Didn't cost that much to get it fixed. It really just had to change I thought it was a bigger problem, but you really just had to change the switches on the breaker or whatever. I don't mess with electrical. More into carpentry. I ain't fucking with no electrical. But so when I first moved in here, coming right after the divorce, like I said, I paid cash for the house. I was broke if I broke. Due to the electrical problems, the stove didn't work. Something was wrong with it. It wasn't just no power could get to the stove. I could turn the light on in the kitchen because I guess that went to a different part of the breaker. I mean, it sent it. I don't know electrical, but anyway, the lights in the kitchen work. It just the outlet where the stove was at, that switch needed to get changed so it could send power to the stove. So anyway, either way it go, for a brief moment, I didn't have a stove, so I went and got a George Foreman grill and an electric skillet. So I was George Foreman grilling and working the electric skillet. I was doing that for a while until because I had a hood electrician come in and do some bullshit that didn't work. And then I called an actual electric company and they came in and did the easy job because they knew exactly where to swing the hammer, so to speak. But he thought it was something else. So he was doing all kind of extra shit based off what he thought it was. But the actual electric company came in and fixed it for cheap. And then now my stove has been working just fine. But I had a brief moment where I was in the same situation. That's the whole moral of the story here. I had a brief moment where I was in the same situation where I ended up with my stove wasn't working. So I was living off I had an electric skillet and a George Foreman grill. So you can get by like that. You can't get by. A man can't live off electric skillet alone. But if you got an electric skillet and a Foreman grill, you can do some shit. You can definitely do some shit. But that link is in the chat if somebody want to come up and freestyle it with me. Hey, yo, talking about some hashtag zero was right. Right about what? Speaking of zero, I'm going to send him an email. I do want to get him on for a one-on-one to talk about feminism. Well, I can't talk today. I'm not even going to. That word kicking my ass. Somebody made a video. Floyd Mayweather said something. I forgot what was the word that just whooped Floyd Mayweather's ass to where he just gave up. He just turned the camera off. He couldn't get the word. Did y'all see that shit? He was like, fuck it. He just gave up. But yeah. Oh, Bota said any word. No. That's only when he's reading. Only when he's reading, if any word will kick his ass. That Negro can't read. Black Torch says English is his second language. He speaks relatively normal, but it's just reading. It's just he can't read that good. Yeah, smart businessman. Very smart businessman. Well calculated. I remember when I talked about how when I got out of my divorce, I was so happy to get some new pussy. I was taking all comers. Like Floyd Mayweather is the exact opposite of that. He don't take all comers when it comes to fighting. I feel like he sold the boxing game short by not he just barely beat De La Hoya, but he waited for De La Hoya to get old. Sugar Shane Mosley caught him a few times, but he waited for Sugar Shane Mosley to get old. It's like he waited for all of them to get old. And the younger people who was on the come up, he fought them before they was really seasoned. But if somebody was seasoned and was a vet and really possibly could kick his ass, he waited for him to get old. He waited for Manny Pacquiao to lose his punching power. So I give Floyd credit. He managed the hell out of his career. He's smart as hell. He know what the fuck he doing. But you know, I feel like once he got to about 40 and 0, I feel like he was just babysitting that undefeated record. He didn't want to take no chances. He didn't want to put nothing on the line, really. So that's why I'm disappointed looking back at his career. But it was fun to watch, man. He's extremely talented. But be that as it may, we can switch to such complex. Do you watch boxing?
No, not really. I'm not really into combat sports, really.
Yeah.
I was into football big time. I was an offensive coordinator, actually. Like at the senior level when I used to live in Arizona for some time. So I was like big into football, but yeah, like boxing, MMA, all that shit. Nah, I'm not really into it. I like motorsports, and that's really what I'm into.
Yeah, well, see, when it comes to MMA, I do like watching the highlights. The reason I can't just watch MMA live on TV or on my Facebook page when it scroll down and they just because they will show you the best fights. I can't watch the average fight, and the reason being because they stand up. It's like a good fight. They on their feet, they fighting, but then once it gets a minute or two in, it just turn into two sweaty, shirtless, barefoot men in spandex rolling around on the floor in a compromised position, and it just looks nasty after a while. It's like
yeah, you know, that's what I mean, right? Okay, boxing, that's like motherfuckers punching each other, right?
exactly.
So okay, it's like again, you know, if you're into that kind of shit, fine. I can understand from a technical standpoint, boxing. I can look at it, right? I've seen training videos where Customato was training Tyson back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And certain things that he would have Tyson do, and then you would like look at the fight footage, and then you see him doing the exact same thing, and the theory behind why he was training him. Okay, that kind of stuff. Okay, I can get it. But when you just got just two sweaty motherfuckers just with mouthpieces and gloves on, you know,
Yeah.
just rolling around, you know,
Yeah,
trying
just
to like
tangled
put you
up. Yeah.
a figure four leg lock or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't get with that shit. When Aegon Stark, you said, what the hell? That's a lie, Bernard. You talking about what I said about Floyd? How he was babysitting that undefeated record? Is that what you're talking about? If that is what you're talking about, I think he could have possibly beat the people that he ducked and waited. I feel like he waited for Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, and Manny Pacquiao. He waited for them all to get old. I think he could have beat them had he fought them while they were younger. I think he could have beat them, but he didn't want to take the chance. So that's why I criticize.
It makes sense though, man. It's like, nah, screw that, dude. Fight him in your prime. Fight him when you're at your best.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did. He basically like while he was the best, he fought who was there to fight, and then it was like, all right.
No, it was a brief moment when Floyd was about 26 or 27, and he had like made it to, Floyd was about 25 or 26. He had got to his peak. He was more or less the best in the game.
Yeah.
But Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley, they were still like 29 or 30, and was possible, and so they all were more or less still in their prime. So he waited a little bit.
Yeah.
He waited until he got 29 and they got 34. Now they a little slower, and so far as competitiveness, no, I can't. I gotta call a foul on that, because we didn't see the best fight possible as the fan. But far as him managing his career and protecting his undefeated record and his money, his undefeated money, what do you call it?
Money earning.
Yeah, but he got his little taglines, But anyway, so he, as far as protecting that, then yeah, his ability to demand the absolute most for every fight, as far as the money, that undefeated record was part of his brand. Put it like that.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm like, no. I mean, you could say that the typical boxer would have done what you were saying, but I think he played it smart, and that's why I'm like, no, actually, no. No, he played it smart, because the thing about it is this: like you could reverse it, and if like De La Hoya, Pacquiao, Mosley, if all of them, if they was really about their business, they would have took him on as an up and coming challenger.
That's true. That's true.
So and yeah, you know what I mean. And so it's kind of like it cuts both ways, right? Like which side of which has the bargaining power? Like if two camps get together and they want to negotiate a fight purse, right? Okay, well, who is in a position to demand more money? You see, so a fight could have theoretically happened, and Floyd like, well, shit, I'm 20-something-0, 28-0. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't took a L yet. Like you holding a couple, man. Nah, I think we need to put a little more zeros on my purse.
Hey, Floyd was smart though. He used that like cocky black man image, to pretty much boost all his sales, because white folks about to fight just to hope he lose, and he'd sit back and fight little scrubs and then just take the money and smile, and then they keep on.
Pick them to pieces.
You just bought a mic?
I've been had a mic, man.
Okay, you coming through clear. Last time you was on, I don't remember you being that clear. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, I had to fool with the settings, man. I've been had a mic. I use this mic for recording.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you coming through crystal clear.
You got a Blue Yeti?
Oh shit, I don't know. Let me see. Zing Yao.
Okay. Shout out DJ Kuda. Let us know what a Zing Yao is.
I don't know. Shit.
Yeah,
but what's up to y'all though, man? I just want to bring up this real quick point. Bernard, you might not have seen the comment I left yesterday, but Nuruddin was on Game Changer panel like yesterday, and he was talking about how like when he was a substitute teacher in high school, like some of the female teachers, their moms were coming to the parent-teacher conference, not because they're fighting or their bad grades, because their daughters were complaining about the black dudes like ignoring them.
Yeah, Nuruddin has told that story like 117.5 times.
Yeah, but I was like, this might be some bullshit. So I did some research and went on Twitter, and I actually found a trending tweet where it's like hundreds of women saying that if these black dudes go on social media like these little high school kids and say, hey, I don't date black girls, they should be expelled from school. I found a link to it. I posted it in your last video. So how y'all feel about that?
I don't.
Me either. Damn. What's the name? Left. Shit. Come back, man. I didn't mean to leave you hanging there. I think he wanted to come up and talk some sports with us. What was his name? Did y'all catch his name?
Les Bryant, I think.
Les Bryant. Yeah, come back, man. We circle back to the sports topic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to talk sports. I just want to see how y'all think about that.
No, I don't. I mean, the story. Every time Nuruddin tell that story, I'm like, the shit sound weird.
Oh no, I'm saying I found actual proof on Twitter of like hundreds of women saying that should happen.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing at this point, man. Like, what are you not going to find somebody saying on social media?
Yeah, yep.
That's true.
That's where I'm at with that too. I mean,
No,
I
that's
guarantee you could come up with any weird thing. I guarantee there's at least 100 Americans that do it. There's
it's
some,
trending somewhere.
yeah, somewhere, somebody somewhere. There's a website for guys who are into cockeyed albino midgets. I guarantee there's a porn site for it. So, so no matter what it is, somebody's into it. Somebody's bitching about it. Somebody's going to a porn site that majors in that minor. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. But that's when Nuruddin bring that up, I feel like that's a obscure
Yeah, I was like,
thing
it's bullshit till I
that
seen it and like actually seen like women agreeing, and they were like mentioning Paris Milan, like, yeah, we got to do a petition for this girl, and I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what to make of that. But he far as I mean, I wouldn't put it past. I mean, if it's a hashtag with 100
There's 300 so far and on Twitter. This as of this morning.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past it, but it's nothing that I'm going to personally get, alarmed about. If it turned into like a big thing where they
y'all remember they already banned those white folks from TikTok, and they were actually from my hometown, like them racist folks, and they got them kicked out of school. I know y'all heard that story.
What story was that?
No.
The racist white people on TikTok, they were like doing the video, like showing what black people are made of, like, no fathers, robbing people and all this shit, and it blew up. Y'all didn't hear about that shit?
Yeah, I saw that.
Very vaguely. Vaguely.
Yeah, they from my hometown. They actually went to my high school.
I think they was doing some witchcraft.
Nah, man, them motherfuckers are stupid, bro. They literally go to my high school. Like, them motherfuckers are stupid, bro. That's all.
They had like a little piece of paper with the N-word and put it in the sink, and they were calling out the items or calling out stuff like black people will do crime or something, and they'll write it on a piece of paper and put it under drawn water. If you study like the arts and crafts and stuff, study the dark arts, when you cast a love spell, like you write a name in it or a sentence, and you scratch out a number of syllables, and you put it up to a flame.
Sigil magic. You talking about sigil magic?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it with burning the piece of paper and letting your thoughts transpire throughout the universe or whatnot. But you can also do it underwater too. Making it soggy, and that's what they were doing in that video. I think they were doing witchcraft. Honestly, me personally.
Did it work?
Hell no. Them white folks from my high school drugged the shit out their ass. Them motherfuckers got kicked out of school.
No, I'm saying the magic, the magic part worked.
Well, I mean, it's happening now. I don't know if you could play the video. I forgot what stuff that they were using during.
No, what I'm saying is like after they do their little magic spell or some shit, like did it work somewhere?
I mean, it's worked for me, but I don't know for them. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
But hey, what's up, Bernard? Yeah.
What up? Let's go. Yeah, you had came up when we was talking sports. I'm looking at your little profile picture there. I assumed you wanted to get in on the sports talk for a second.
Yeah, I love sports. I used to be hard in the MMA when Bones Jones was still fresh. I think he was like 13-0, and he went a whole year just fighting heavyweights, and he was just killing the game. I think it was back in like 2011, but now he's just all right now. He can't stay off of drugs. Man.
Drugs, yeah, and DUIs every year.
Yeah. But undercards in the UFC and MMA, they're always the best because they move quicker. The fights are more bloodier. The heavyweights in the UFC, like they just move slow. They move awful, and they're doing more grappling than they are brawling. So.
Yeah, I think that's true about those undercards. See, when you get to people who really trained, the downside to that for the fan who's watching, like they're so trained, they know how not to get fucked up, and so it almost looks like they're doing a dance damn near like why it's like they know not to just lunge in or too soon, too fast. How not if they do this, they know the person is going to do that, so they end up standing there staring at each other for a long time, like they're waiting to see who's gonna. It's like so yeah, with them undercards where they just undisciplined, they just go right for it. You're gonna see blood flying with them undercards. So that is true. I give it that with the undercards. I'm gonna go to GA Boy, but I'm trying to see who is this who is this with the name. Why can't I see the okay, I don't know what I'm doing. The said SYSBM.
I think we have a troll.
Possibly. So that's what I'm trying to figure out if this is a troll or not. So SYSBM, what's up? Hey, I like that chick right there though, by the way. The chick you got up there. I follow her on the gram. I do. I don't be all in the comment sections or in the DM. I just look at the well-assembled pixels on the screen of my phone and keep it moving. But anyway, SYSBM, go ahead. What's up? And Troll. Okay, cool.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
What's up, GA Boy? What's good?
What's up,
good,
brother?
Man. Happy Friday, fellas.
Say something in the chat so I can re-rinse you. I was.
Oh no, hey man, all that shit, man. Hey, but no, I don't be honest, bro. And this for everybody in the chat. So, hey, listen, man. You can, if you disagree, man, I piss you off. You can cuss me out, man. That shit don't bother me, man. I don't.
No.
I don't be trolling. I just want to let the guys in the chat know. So I don't be trolling, but this is the computer, the internet, bro. I mean, in real life, I'm one of them guys, man. I can disagree, and you can. I mean, you don't call me this, but I be all the bitches, the punks. I'm cool with that. That shit don't really bother me, man. I just want to let people know that you can get off on me. I don't take it personally.
Oh no, that ain't even how I roll, and I don't.
I know that.
You don't be doing nothing that even warrant all of that. The reason I de-wrenched you because the topic was to the point to where you weren't gonna be able to resist the temptation to just go in on Obsidian the whole show. So then I was like,
hey,
it's gonna distract from the show.
Yeah, I got you. But no, man, I jumped up. I mean, sports, that's my thing. I love sports. I'm a self-proclaimed jock. I'm willing to admit that. That's what I watch on TV. That's why I've been struggling. There's no sports on TV. Mm-hmm. Last night, the NFL draft came on last night. I was excited. I was like a kid in the damn toy store in front of the TV.
I mean, what's that?
Hey,
were you that didn't even feel like a draft.
But no, hey guys, I like that better. I like the virtual.
Were you excited with the draft?
Really?
Yes, bro. I like that. I think that's better than all the big fucking, all the guys in the suits and all that shit. I don't care about that. I like the more intimate, them in the house in the living room with their family, the coaches in the living room. I kind of liked it that. I think I'm with that.
Yeah. I
sounds good.
I ain't no big nut about the NFL draft. I barely watch it because I don't watch college football that much. So I don't really find if I only know about the top of the top guys. I'm like my brother, a tight end could get drafted in the 6th round and my brother know exactly who he is. Like I don't know how he do that shit, but yeah,
I mean, I love it because I went through the process a little bit. I ended up breaking my foot while I was training my senior after I finished. And I got invited to the Carolina Panthers training camp, but I broke my foot like probably 3 weeks before camp started. So then, I ain't gonna lie, I got depressed like a motherfucker, bro. And I gained a bunch of weight. I ended up getting back in shape when my foot got better. But then, I had a chance to go play in Canada, but I had so much pride. I was like, fuck that. If it ain't the NFL, I don't want to play no more. So I just got me a job. That's kind of how it went with me. So I love the NFL draft. I watch it. I'm head first with the NFL.
You were the wide receiver?
No, I played tight end, Bernard. I was a tight end.
Okay.
Yeah, back when I
remember you said you were 6'4", so I was just
but when I was in college, I was about 6'4", 240. That was my playing weight.
Yeah, you're a big dude.
That was what I played at. But I love. Now I was actually considered small, man. I tell people 240. I'm blocking them fucking 290-pound defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
Them motherfuckers be strong, man. I'm telling you. So it was tough, man. But when you was talking about Floyd, I got on when you was talking about Floyd, and I kind of agree with what you were saying. I wouldn't say he was dodging them, but he was very smart. But my thing with Floyd, man, I just have so much respect for him, bro, because the way he approached his craft, man, like I just respect people who approach their craft the way he do, man. Like you got to understand, man, this guy doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do nothing bad to his body. He takes care of himself, and the way he fights his defense, bro, like you can't hit him, bro. Like, and his move, the little shoulder roll thing, that's like That's the coolest boxing move ever. You see other people try to do it, but they just can't do it like Floyd. He just turns his damn shoulder to you, and every time, I mean, you can't hit him. And then as soon as he see that you got to open, he just punch you in your damn face. I mean, I just love the dude, man. I think he's the best. I won't say ever because I'm not old enough. I didn't really know nothing about Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and all them guys. I'm not old enough. I'm an 80s baby. I was born in the 80s, but I mean, Floyd, man, I mean, he's like one of the best athletes, period. Damn boxing. He's like one of the best ever to me.
Definitely one of the best tactical fighters. Like probably the best. Like when you watch him, like he boxed for points. He didn't box for knockouts. Yeah, you just sit there and pick you apart, man. It was just like a work of art when you watch him. Like I said, I'm not really big into boxing, but when you watch Floyd, he would just have his competitors confused, man.
Yeah, he frustrates them. He frustrates them because they can't get a clean shot on him. And that's like you say, that's an art complex. Yeah. That's an art. So I mean, but what Bernard was saying was true. So don't get it twisted. He makes sure he uses strategies when he plans his fights. I mean, the only guy that we can say he fought in his prime when he was old, which I was shocked that Floyd did this, but he knew he can beat the young guy when he fought the young redhead Mexican dude. I was shocked he took that fight. Yeah, Canelo, because Canelo was kind of young and Floyd was real. Floyd was kind of older. I was like, Canelo punches kind of hard, guys. I'm surprised he took that one, but he beat the shit out of that boy. I was surprised that he schooled him the way he did.
That's what I mean, dude. It's like when you get to a certain level of mastery, you know who used to another person that I got into watching who was like this. He's almost like a drunken master, man, was Bernard Hopkins. Like B-Hop was like that. Like he got to like this sort of like Yoda stage of his career where he got into his 40s and shit. And like he would just he would like just literally outthink young boxers. It wasn't even about physicality no more. It was purely mental. And that's what Floyd did to Canelo, man. He had Canelo just was like a split second late on everything. Like
Complex. Hey, Complex. I hate to change the subject, but I gotta ask you this, bro. Because when you said it, I just had a big smile on my face. You said earlier that you was an offensive coordinator, right? Oh, yeah. So I listened to you. Hey, check this out. I listen to you a lot. Like you my guy. I like how you, but you kind of you are complicated. You break things. You don't make things simple. And see, one thing about football, I played it my whole life. You know how people say football players ain't smart. That's not really true, but there are a bunch of dumb people that do play football too. I'm gonna be honest. So when you say you was offensive coordinator, I was like, damn, I bet he had your name Complex Design is kind of funny. I was like, I bet he had a fucking complex ass offense.
It was, look, schematically, man, it was like a mix of, I would say, Ken Niumatalolo, the Navy Navy coach, running wishbone triple option and a spread. So you take you take a concept that's completely far left and one that's completely far right. Okay. And then you put them together and you hybridize them. And that's what I ran. I called it a Corsair offense.
I'm gonna be honest, man, because like it's funny, like guys like you, to be honest, if you look at the NFL now in college football, the real smart guys are the ones who are the best offensive coordinators now. Back in the day, it used to be the big tough guy who knew football. No, bro, if you really look at the coaches now in football, it's the small little guys who really never played football their life. They just smart and they figured out how to strategically figure out the game of football. Like the best one in NFL now is what's the Rams coach, Sean McDermott. The guy never played football in his life.
McVay.
Yeah, McVay. Yeah. My fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. And he's only 30-something. He's like 30, 32 or something like that.
And the other guy is the guy in San Francisco. Don't get it wrong. His dad was a coach.
No, but you're talking
Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Okay, then you got what's his name over at Arizona right now. He was the Texas Tech coach.
Yes, man. These guys are more well, he actually played football though. Kingsbury.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, but he's only 35.
Yeah, he's 35. Yeah,
he's 35, dude. I'm trying to think who else. They just brought in dude. What's his name over at Carolina? The coach,
the guy from Baylor. Yeah, Matt Rule.
He's 30. Yeah. What is he? 30, 35, 34, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm one of these guys. I'm all about youth movement. I'm not old, but I'm not young. I like when I see like younger guys, because I'm gonna be honest. I work with kids, guys, here in Florida, And I'm gonna be honest, man, like these young boys, they don't really respect old heads like that. It's a different generation. Like when I was coming up, I think I grew up in the 90s, I'm an 80s baby, but I think we kind of did listen to the older guys a little more. But these young guys now, man, I'm gonna be honest, man, they really, if you too high in your 40s, they don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. I mean, they like the younger. They want to listen to the younger guys, not the young guys, young, but the guys in them 30s and early 40s. They don't do the old head stuff. So I think that's what the NFL is noticing, because it was a big disconnect. Like here in Jacksonville, we had a problem last year with the Jaguars because they had Tom Coughlin running the team, and he was trying to. Exactly. And he was dealing with a motherfucker like Jalen Ramsey, who was a young millionaire. You can't tell these young millionaires what to do, bro. This is the new generation. They're not going to listen to you. You got to talk to them. You can't tell them what to do. So I think the whole young movement in a lot of industries is good, man, because these young guys coming up, they just don't really want to hear what the older dudes got to say, period. Well, that's just how it is.
Real talk. That's the reason why Brady and Gronk are gone, man.
Yeah,
real talk. It just had to do with the culture that Belichick had there. You notice, dude, he only had like a few mainstays. Gronk, Brady, Edelman, couple dudes, and then everybody else was like a revolving door. Yeah, and it came out was like maybe a day or two ago that the reason why Gronk had actually retired was because on the low, the Patriots had traded him to the Lions. And he was like, fuck that, I ain't going to Detroit, bro. I'm retired.
That's crazy. Bernard, did you play sports back in the day, bro? When you was back in your day? Oh, Bernard must be busy. It's me and you, Complex.
We over here. Oh, there he is.
Bernard, but like I say, man, did you play ball, Complex?
I played 1 year. Man, you know what? Like my sport was baseball, dude. I still got I got newspaper clippings from when my squad almost went to the Little League World Series.
To answer your question, I had to go on mute. I was trying to make some coffee while y'all was talking. But to answer your question, I did. I played basketball in high school. I played football, but I wasn't all that good at football. I never played football until like my junior year in high school. That was when I played. Not only played, I came on like midway through the season. So really, my senior year was the only year where I actually played. Like I really played football, and I didn't really get the hang of it. I was like big and strong, but the technique. I just I didn't have a technique down until like the very end of the season. But basketball, basketball was I loved basketball. That was my shit. I even coached it.
You coached? Okay.
With my kids coming up, I coached them. Like I just one of my sons, I coached his 6th grade team for the 6th grade travel basketball for his middle school. That was the highest level I coached, 6th grade. But
I love that shit. I love what I'm hearing. I hear travel ball. I love to hear that shit, but my son is in all that too, bro. Like that's what I do, bro. Like that's pretty much that occupies my life, bro. My life is occupied through my son's sports. That's what I do. Like when I'm not at home, that shit takes up a lot of your time, man. But it's fun and it's expensive too. We can talk on that once they do, but guys, I'm telling you, man. Like my son plays. He's only 9, so he's not. He don't have as many tournaments that he can play in, but when he hits like 11, that's when it kind of really kicks off. Like Bernard said, when they hit middle school, it's his own world. It's so much for these kids to do.
Yeah, when you get into when you get in that AAU, when you get to AAU, because I had a bunch of homies. Matter of fact, one of the homies that I grew up with, man, Corey Benjamin, like he was like an AAU star back in the day. Like we was coming up. He ended up playing for Oregon State and then getting drafted in the first round by the Bulls back in 97, 98, I think it was. But man, like that dude, man, he stayed on them all-star AAU squads, man. Like I remember that AAU shit was big back in the well, I mean, it's still big now, shit. Because you got LeBron's kids, Wade's kids, they all playing for like Sierra Canyon out here in California.
Man, that shit is not that shit is more than big. It's huge. What you mean? They don't. You got the FBI indicting people because of AAU basketball.
Yeah,
they were. You remember the Louisville scandal, the Rick Pitino thing. That all started from which that shit is. Somebody need to have a panel on that. That was a whole nother thing because, I mean, I tell people all the time, man. I went on college visits, man. Like I went through the whole process of being recruited. you know, all that stuff. You get to go on 5 visits that they pay for. They fly you and your parents, and you get to bring a friend too. You get to bring your parents and one friend if you want to a college visit. And my thing is this, man, you know, the FBI came in and was arresting people and all that. But my thing is, man, that shit been going on since the dinosaur years. When I went on my visit, bro, I'm going to be honest, bro, like I named the school. It was so long ago. One of the schools, I'm just going to put one of them. I took a visit to the University of Kentucky. I play football, and when I went up there, me and my friend, like, bro, like, man, they had strippers for me. I had sex. I mean, that shit just happens like that. That's normal. That's why when ESPN was covering it and making Louisville look like they just, oh my God, they're the worst school ever. No, every university in the country do that. When a kid come visit your college, if you guys have sons, and one day if they get the opportunity to get recruited by a school and they get to go on a visit, pretty much what happens is when they fly you up there with your child, they're going to get you on the campus. What the first thing they do is they grab the parents and they separate them from the kids. Yeah, they take the parents on a little tour, show you all the academic shit. Yeah, we got this major, this education. So they go ahead and suck your parents in. Now they get the kid. He leaves with somebody who's already on the team. That's his chauffeur. That's who's going to take him around. Man, those guys take you off and get you fucked up, get you some pussy. That's just how it goes. That's kind of how the recruiting process goes. So it's a dirty game, man. Like you said, it's big though, but that's just that's sports, man.
That's a beautiful thing that happens like that.
Oh, they got Beasley up. What's up, Beasley?
Right, Pastor, gentlemen, good morning. I was listening to you earlier. You know, I have a tendency to disagree with you about the younger coaches and the older coaches. I think it comes down to results. You got somebody like Andy Reid, who's probably considered older, a veteran, and they listen to him. If you're losing, I think it's pretty simple. If you're losing and there's dissension in the locker room and the coach isn't strong enough to maintain it or to keep it civil, but if you're losing, you're going to have problems, you know, and people will tend not to listen. If you're winning, football's a team sport. Everybody falls in. Somebody like Belichick with all that success all over the time, people are going to listen to him.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. I was gonna say him. Belichick's an asshole, and you're right. He wins.
Right. What football coach ain't an asshole? What football coach is a nice guy?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Dick Vermeil, who cries, but he was still a very good coach. Football coaches are assholes, and I think these young guys, it's good that they give them a shot and they're able to perform. Them young guys are also very inexpensive as compared to a veteran coach. They're a good bargain. They're a good bargain for the money. But
I agree with that. I mean, I see what you're saying. Instead of paying Andy Reid $7 million, you can pay young guy $3 million. But these guys, those young guys earn their stripes though. They be offensive coordinators. They've been ran or defensive coordinators, and they have been ran a successful. They'll be successful at what they were doing for years. So they earn their stripes. Now, don't get it twisted, but
right.
I'm telling you, Beasley, man, I don't know about you. I'm out here with, like, when I say kids, I'm really not talking about the NFL. So I'm more talking about like the high school level and the college level.
Oh, because
I'm talking about the younger kids.
No, right. Well, that whole college, they recruited a younger cousin of mine when he was in the 6th grade.
Yep.
He got a scholarship to Crossroads where Baron Davis went in Santa Monica, and he fucked it up and everything. But yeah, that starts early. That starts really early, and that's super competitive.
Yeah, it is.
And they will break your parents because they'll make you go to training, this, that. The competition is fierce.
I'm one of those guys right now, bro. My son has a personal trainer. He goes twice a week. I mean, the guy's a discount for me, man. He does 2 hours for, like, this is a discount though, guys. Trust me. The guy he does 2 hours for $40. That's cheap. And my son goes twice a week.
They were spending more than that 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. So no, but this is my friend. This is a guy, I won't say his name. He has a business down here. He played college ball. He actually played overseas. He trains my son twice a week. So like you say, Beasley, it's very competitive. So if you want your kid to be good, you got to play the game, man. My son is pretty good too. He's a big kid. So I play the game, man. I'm gonna see how far this shit take him.
I was training kids up. I trained kids up in karting, man, and driving. Most of the clientele I had, they're white folks, but that was what I did. I always wanted to train young black males up in motorsport and in driving.
I'm telling you, Complex, you should stick to it, bro. It's money in that shit. Stick with it, bro.
I know there's money in it. What it is that we don't have interest in these type of sporting activities. Well, we do, right? Because like black folks, we into cars and stuff, but we don't take it from a sporting approach. We don't approach it seriously from a sporting approach, like how we're talking about basketball and football and everything. We don't approach motorsports like that. We approach it as hobbies.
Unless you call a sideshow a motorsport.
I got a comment about the whole thing about the respect for the coaches. I got a different spin on it. Like back in the day, you didn't have AAU. You had Nike camp and you had Adidas camp in basketball. And when you was all state, they put you up against the best players, and that's what made you all-American once you showed yourself to be the top 20, 25 guys in the country. Then they invited you to Nike camp and Adidas camp, and that got you them college looks from the colleges that you want to go to. The problem with a lot of these coaches is they be having a good plan for them keeping their job, and it don't necessarily fit the player. Like you spoke on Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. You're not going to have him on the team, on the bum-ass team, destroying his career and his body. So what he's trying to do is get up out of there, just like a lot of different guys. I could be 6'10" on the basketball court. It might be more beneficial for the high school coach to have me down low, grabbing rebounds and blocking shots, but it might be more beneficial for me to be playing on the perimeter because that's what's going to give me a professional spot in the post. So it'd be a conflict of interest in everybody, what everybody really wants.
That's very true. Very true.
No, that's all facts. Everything you just said was facts, DC. Like I'm telling you.
And then, and let me say this, Jay boy. I hate to switch subjects because I gotta say this before I jump down. When you're talking about these boxers, a lot of these guys who be great, like Mayweather and the Mexican guy, them guys started out 110 pounds, man. When you walking up, that's why they have something they call walk around weight. If you got a guy who walking around naturally at 170 pounds and you got a guy who naturally 130 like Floyd and he go up and fight him, he's not naturally going to hit harder than that guy. So he's going to have to play fight. When Floyd was an amateur and young in the game, he was knocking fools out. That was naturally his size. Now you want to move him up and put him against somebody bigger. And we saw that same thing, reflection of the same thing happen to Roy Jones Jr. He was great until he started fighting big people. Then he started getting tagged. His little body couldn't handle it.
That's true though. Hey, Disky, let me just say one thing you said about the coaches, and I'll let everybody else have it. I'm gonna hop down too and listen. Like you said though, back in the day compared to now, like you said with the culture, let me tell you why those coaches why they care more about their self-interest than they used to back in the day. There's a reason for that. I'm gonna be honest, and it's because the players and the parents aren't loyal no more, bro. I actually coach, and the parents and the players, they're not loyal like they used to be back in the day. Back in the day, bro, that your coach used to be able to cuss you out, put you on the bench, and tell you you're gonna sit there until you get your shit together. See, now if you cuss a kid out and put him on the bench after the game, his daddy like, hey coach, can I holler at you real quick? And then he put you to the side. Hey man, I know the blah 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 blah. And then you find out a couple days later he's taking his son and took him to another school and transferred, and now the kid playing for somebody else. You see that shit every day. So I understand why the coaches move the way they move. Like, I'm not that type of parent. See, I'm the type of guy, I want you to cuss my son out and tell him to get his shit together. Like, my son is kind of good to be 9. He's one of the good kids at his age, but I don't think he's that good. I think he's sorry. I'm different. I like for coaches to bust his ass and get in his ass. But a lot of the parents, especially, I ain't gonna lie, especially these single mothers, I gotta put it out there. I gotta say it.
We got.
You can't. Hey, look. You can't. You can't say nothing to they fucking kids, man. And that's why these coaches are so protective and they're so like.
Well, I mean, GA. A lot of coaches done fouled over a lot of players, man. It's been a lot of guys who've been really good, but they've been overshadowed by their coach trying to get a good record in a little conference or a little school that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So people start looking at that like, wait a minute, you got your best interests at heart. You're trying to be a playoff team right now. I'm trying to be great later. I'm trying to do something. That's like a coach telling Durant, hey, we're going to need you down there getting all the rebounds. We don't want you doing nothing else. Huh? I'm not finna do that. I'm a shooter. At least I think I am in the future. And so now when you take these coaches and they trying to keep their jobs because they getting paid a lot of money for doing this. Some big money in high school if the school good enough, and great money in college and the pros. So of course they're gonna put you in a position that's gonna benefit the team over you. And see, that's why these players like, wait a minute, we're not doing that no more. You're not gonna treat me like you do Neil Anderson who played for the Bears. You're gonna run me 50 times on a bad team, and then I'm no good. I can't even walk now. Because of you, because you trying to keep your job, coach. But what about me? See, that's the part I agree with the players on that one.
So the whole basketball structure from the early days, from the beginning, is everybody going for themselves. Coaching,
exactly.
Everything else. That's a mess.
I mean, just look at how we talk about Phil Jackson. What did Phil Jackson do so great? It was Tex Winter triangle system. Michael Jordan was the one out there hitting all them shots because I stayed in Chicago. I watched every game. Michael Jordan took that team and put us in the luggage, and we carried us to the championship every year. And now we talking about Phil Jackson. See, these coaches be getting too much juice.
What Phil Jackson did good is he managed all them egos, and he played mind games with them motherfuckers because he was so much older than them. And I'm a Laker fan. I watched the way that he would handle Kobe.
I was about to say, man, I'm out here in LA too, and like that 2000, what was that? It was the 2010 championship team when it was Kobe, Paul Gasol, it was Lamar Odom, it was Sasha Vujacic. Man, look,
Bynum and all them.
Man, look, that team really shouldn't have won. They were good, but you know what it was. They were coached really good.
No, I disagree. When back in them times, Bynum and Paul Gasol was the two best big men in the league. No question about it. Only thing that stopped Bynum from being great was his knee. He was great.
It was his knees. Well, but that's the thing, though, man. If you got in LA, look, you didn't know what you was going to get from Bynum from week to week. You didn't know if he was hurt or not. Right. So you had to get what you could get out of Bynum when you got it.
No, hey, listen, y'all. Phil Jackson's whole coaching career. I'm gonna name three people. His whole coaching career, he had three of these guys on his team his whole life. He had Jordan, Kobe, and Shaq. Should I say more? Of course you're gonna fucking win.
Exactly. And let's not act like, and I love Kobe. And look, I love Kobe. But let's not act like Shaq wasn't the best player in the world when Kobe was winning them championships in LA at first. Them 3 feet, Shaq was the best player in the world, no question about it. Nobody could stop him.
Yeah, we all know that.
Wait, you can't leave Scottie out. Scottie Pippen, too.
Yeah, but Scottie only averaged 16 points a game, and he only averaged 0.8 more rebounds than Michael Jordan.
Time out.
Let's keep it a buck.
Hold on, stop. You can't say Scottie only averaged 16 points per game. That's what his career average.
Okay, in the playoffs, he averaged 17.5.
What did you say?
In the playoffs, he averaged 17.5.
Okay, they won. Wait a minute, they won 6 championships. So what year are you talking about?
For them championship years and the regular season, he averaged 16 points a game. The only stats he averaged, he averaged the same amount of blocks as Mike. Mike averaged more steals than him. The only thing he averaged more than Mike was 0.8 rebound. A 0.8 rebound average. So, that was Michael Jordan, bro.
All right, listen. You getting some things wrong. I think you're doing what a lot of people do. They shorthand the stats. They look at somebody's career averages, and they don't take into consideration that this person got off to a slow start and then had a slow finish, so his career averages are low. But during that time that they was winning those championships, Scottie Pippen was averaging very close to 21 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, playing first team defense. You can't discount that and say,
I don't think he never averaged 20 points, period.
Yes,
he never averaged 20 points. We gotta check that.
Screen share. The screen share is coming. Don't worry.
Let's see it.
Wait, and then also, Bernard, you also have to look at the plus minus. See, people don't be looking at the plus minus box. Like when you're on the floor, okay, is it a plus or like is it a negative effect or a positive effect when you're on the floor? When you look at Scottie's, you look at his plus minus stats. Man, look, every time they were on the floor, dude, he made an impact. So you got to look at like the intangible shit that doesn't go under a rebound, a free throw, a field, a shot made or anything like that. You got to look at the intangible shit. It's plus minus.
Nah,
that's true. That's true. I'm with you. I'm not going.
I agree with that a little bit.
You don't got to plus minus this thing. Hold on.
But check this out, y'all. any championship you see over the years is going to have a supporting class that can at least keep you in it. What you do as a superstar getting paid all the big bucks is what's going to put y'all team over the hump. Scottie's 16 points was great, and he added a lot to the team. But let's keep it a buck. Michael Jordan was killing. He was all his numbers went up in the playoffs from 30 to 33. He shot over 50%. Scottie only shot 40-some% as a career. So come on now.
Check out this. Let's check out.
Listen. Hold on, everybody. I need everybody to be quiet. He said Scottie Pippen only shot 40%. There's his percentage right there. Y'all see that 48?
Right there? 40-some%, 48%. Now what did Jordan average? And look at his rebounds.
Listen,
48% is good.
Jordan shot like 49.5 on his career, like just under 50, which is extremely great as well. Like what you talking about? Let me show y'all that.
But Jordan averaged 30 points a game. He took a gang of shots to get
Jordan was the greatest. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Who is this talking? I can't see the screen.
This Deesky.
Okay, so all right, dude. Okay, let me just dispel your first myth. You said Scottie Pippen averaged 16 points per game. Okay. Now look right there at the very bottom that I just highlighted in yellow, all the way at the last stat at the end. Yes, that's 16 points on his career.
Okay, let's see what he averaged on the Bulls. Go scroll through what he averaged for the Bulls.
That's what I'm showing you.
21.
Relax. All right, that's what he averaged on his career. Now for the Bulls during the championship series. Okay, that's from 1991. Let me click 91, and let me click all the way to the time to where they broke up in, let's say, 98. All right, now watch how that. Okay, so from 91 to 98, Scottie Pippen averaged 20 points. You said he never averaged a clean 20. He averaged 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And first team defense guarded the other team best player during that whole time. Now,
you got the averages, Bernard, but look at his body of work in them years. 16 points, 17 points. I mean, come on, man.
No, during the years, the only year where he was damn near putting up role player numbers, and now you can't even say that 1991 championship, his 4th year in the league when he was becoming an all-star. You see up there, see right there. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me use the mouse. Okay, yeah, now I'm doing it good. Okay, so he averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists that year. Let me zoom a little more. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block that year. But after that, look, 21. 7 and 7, like I said. He dropped down to 18, but still, it's first team defense, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block.
Strong stats.
Then right here, and keep in mind, this is the 90s when they played at a slower pace when the final score was only, 90 to
88 to 30. Facts.
Yeah, so stats are inflated nowadays because they playing faster like they did in the 80s. So if you was putting up numbers like that in the 90s, you was putting up numbers.
And he's lucky to even touch the ball with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so he had to get the most out of every possession because the offense ran through Jordan. But no,
he was the point forward. I mean, he didn't have a lot of confidence to shoot all them shots like Mike either. Let's keep that a buck. He wasn't really.
That wasn't his role, though, man.
You're right.
Because look, you gotta look at the season when Michael didn't play. Okay, and when basically it was Scottie and Tony Kukoc.
And who took the last shot in that playoff? Tony Kukoc or Scottie?
That's Kukoc.
Oh, okay.
But Phil drew the play up for that.
Drew a play up? Man, look, when Jordan used to get the ball, he used to tell Phil to give me the ball and get everybody out the way. I ain't all that old other.
That's Mike. That was Mike.
That's when they was winning.
Listen. I will give you the point all day that Scottie Pippen wasn't that prototypical go-to guy. He could have developed that over his career, but he played with Jordan, and that was perfect for him. That was perfect for him because he's a good all-around player. He's better at just being the master of the jack of all trades, master of none. That's Scottie Pippen, and that's okay. He was good at everything. He did everything out there. But
so let me ask you a question. You think around that time, as far as small forwards and the power forward that Scottie played a lot, moving around, he played from point forward to point guard. So we played all positions. Do you think it was other people that you could have fit in that slot and been great with Michael Jordan?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Of course.
But ho. Are you saying you could have put anybody in that slot? I mean, you could have put Grant Hill in that slot. Yeah.
You could have put Dominique Wilkins in that spot. You could have put Barkley in that spot. You could have put a lot of different guys in that spot. And we would have still won the championship.
Wait, to play alongside Jordan?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree with y'all. I don't agree. Y'all tripping. I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why real fast. And that was a good one when you said Grant Hill, Bernard, but not even Grant Hill. Let me tell you, Complex said something important. Listen. Go ahead. Listen, Complex said something earlier that was very important though, bro. He was like the impact that Scottie made, and I'm with you. I'm on that right there with you, Complex. He might not have scored a bunch of points that Disky think was enough, but bro, you a Chicago guy. You watched all the games, bro. Tell me, am I lying? Scottie was the guy he was the lockdown defender. He guarded the other team's best player most of the time.
He always come up with a steal, a basket.
Yes, and see the thing is, hey Disky, you right. Jordan was the one who put the ball in the bucket, but that's because Scottie was so important to that Bulls team, bro. And I don't believe you can put anybody in there. I just don't believe that.
I think you could. He was so great.
And we all watch Jordan every day because they played on WGA.
When you look at Jordan defense, who had the most first team defense? Who had the most times going first team defense? Jordan.
He was Michael Jordan, but he was Michael Jordan.
Jordan and Scottie both.
He was Jordan, bro. He was Jordan. He was Jordan.
You can't take away from what Scottie did, though, man. Scottie was a fucking baller, yo.
He was a baller, but I'm saying
Scottie Pippen is dope. Like, I mean, let me playing alongside Michael Jordan, yo. Like, come on.
Okay, let me try to get this right. It sounds to me like you're saying that Scottie Pippen really was no better than, let's just say, like Tony Kukoc.
No, I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Real simply, on any championship team, you're gonna have a supporting cast that's gonna get you there. What the big money, $20 million a year guy, the guy who eating up all the salary cap, it's his job to get it done at the end. Long as you get Jordan down there, he's gonna get it done. I'm not saying Scottie wasn't good, but I'm saying it was other people in the league probably was better than. Dominique Lucas used to give Scottie the business.
Okay, good.
And I love Scottie, but it's a lot of people who was better than Scottie. I'm just sorry.
Wait a minute. So if all you're arguing is that there were people that was better than Scottie Pippen, I will give you that. I was just just watching The Last Dance. I was trying to think of who was all better than Scottie Pippen. Barkley, I'll give it to Barkley, David Robinson, Olajuwon, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing.
No. Because
I'm putting
Scottie let Patrick Ewing up. Dunked on him.
Okay, all right. That one's debatable. I mean, I like a 7 foot back to the basket center, so that one's debatable. Right. But right now, other than Jordan, I named 4 people who you could say was better. I said Olajuwon, David Robinson, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Pat Ewing, debatable. After that, we probably reaching, because even if we say Dominique, well, that was Dominique that got old by about 92.
He was old about 93, 94.
Clyde Drexler got old. Clyde Drexler started getting old.
Yeah. What'd you say? No, I'm saying Clyde Drexler predates him. Dominique Wilkins predates him.
You could argue that, for brief moments, like Grant Hill and Penny probably got in there when
pre-injury.
You guys are forgetting somebody. Who are you forgetting? The Dream.
I said Hakeem Olajuwon.
No,
okay, my bad.
But pre-injury, you could put Penny and Grant, because Grant Hill literally was one of my favorite players.
Yeah,
Grant was a silent assassin, yo.
Yeah, before he got hurt.
Go watch before he got hurt. Grant was a killer, and he did it. He did it with a straight face. Right, so he would have been the person I think could have really tested Michael, could have really went at Jordan on some mentalist basketball shit, man. Grant was a killer, him and Penny, bro.
Yeah,
and even McGrady, even Tracy McGrady, man. Like pre-injury with McGrady.
That was later though. As far as the Pippen discussion, McGrady didn't come to the league till about 98.
Yeah,
I have the Dream.
So either way it go, Desky. So let's just make this clear. I think everybody agreed that Pippen, at absolute worst, the most critical view of Pippen, you could put him near the bottom of the top 10. Probably 7th or 8th best player in the league. Like I said, Jordan, Olajuwon, David Robinson, Barkley, Malone, that's 5. Arguably Patrick Ewing, and then Penny and Grant Hill had a little brief moment where they ducked in there and was better than probably better than Pippen, but not really, because by the time, let's see, now by about 96, Grant Hill was definitely better than Pippen.
Did you see on another note about Pippen? Did you see the little bit of money that he was getting paid back then?
Oh yeah, I saw all that.
Yeah, like
that was why he was
$7-year, $14 million contract.
Hey, but a lot of guys wasn't getting paid. That was cross.
Hey, Bernard and fellas, I got a good question for y'all. Since we talking basketball, we got a little bit of time left. I want Bernard to go first. Everybody go around. Hey, I want you guys name your starting five in today's NBA. If you got your five best players, like your point guard, shooting guard, 3, 4, 5. Who your starting five would be, Bernard? Who your favorite starting five? Just do it off top of the head. You ain't got a deep thought. Like
my position, it's weird because it's so positionless nowadays. Like,
it is. So, I would say the 1 through the 3 is. The 1 through the 3 is kind of positionless. But mine because
I'll go. It is tough to say it because as much as I want to give it to LeBron be taking so many plays off on defense.
That's fine. Don't put his ass in the starting five.
Then Durant didn't even play because it's really supposed to be Durant, but he ain't played this year. So I don't know.
Hey, take the injuries off the board. No, take the injuries off the table. Pick your starting five.
So right now, I'm gonna go Durant, LeBron, Giannis.
Your starting five.
Harden
for modern times.
In modern times, you can put Giannis at the 5. I mean, Giannis, LeBron, Durant. I would say give me healthy. Harden and probably healthy Steph Curry, because I don't know. I ain't seen Steph Curry. Steph Curry ain't been really able to go ball.
So we're gonna break it down like this. You got Steph at the point. We got Harden at the 2. We can put you said you had KD at the 3. You got you said you had Giannis, he the 5. Who was your 4? You had one. LeBron. Okay, that's a good one.
Ain't enough basketball.
I know. We just don't have.
You need
name
5
yours, Beasley.
How could I knock that team right there?
Yeah, it's hard to knock that team, but I got a problem with that though.
Me too. My 5 is this. I
wouldn't stutter step with Steph though, because Steph is a true assassin.
Yeah, I like guys who can score 2 and 3 dribbles. I don't want a guy who's sitting up there dribbling the clock out and then don't nobody else get no production, because that's not gonna help you in the playoffs. That's why I don't got Harden on my list. I got Steph Curry there.
Steph don't get his due because he's light skinned. That's really what it comes.
And I think EB don't get his due because of Simmons. Because Simmons don't want to shoot the 3. That means he's getting an automatic double team all day long. So therefore, EB can't be who he need to be.
Simmons' game is not that complete yet. He can't shoot the jumper. A lot of things he can't do.
I think Ben Simmons was missold, right? They try to sell him on a 6'9" point guard, but you can't have a 6'9" point guard who can't shoot.
Right.
So
I don't care if he don't hit. I don't care if he don't shoot. He got to take some though to keep that double team off EB. If I'm the coach, I'm telling you got to shoot at least 3-4 3-pointers a game just to keep him honest, bro. You got a double team on our big man, and he ain't even touched the ball yet.
Well, look, you got to do that. You have to do that with him. You have to do that with him because of the fact that he can't shoot. That's my whole point. Now, because to me, at this point, I think Ben Simmons has been playing out of position way too long, but he's gotten so used to it, and the NBA's gotten so used to him that they basically play him where he's at.
Oh,
but he's not a point guard, man.
Somebody in the chat got jokes. Jerome G said, "Dylan." He spit hot fire.
He spit hot fire.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. You guys. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You guys are y'all sleeping on Ben Simmons. I look at him differently, bro. I think he's a great player. He has his weaknesses, but the thing about Ben Simmons with me, man, like he gets better every year, bro. He gets better. He's gonna get a jumper. Because you see, if you look at.
Hold on. I forgot about Kawhi Leonard. I might have to plug Kawhi in there somewhere.
How did he get on the bench? Who do you move out?
I don't know.
It's tough, man. Like
it's perfect
I like
him there because y'all talk about people that dribble too much. I like that. You don't got to dribble that much.
Exactly.
Dribble that much.
James Harden is so cold with it. He you know what he's gonna do.
But he's not gonna win a championship playing like that, though, Beasley.
But taking the ball to the hole and scoring every single time?
Yeah, because when he kick it to the corner and the guys ain't shot all season long.
Hold on. You only see a couple of players do that for a couple of years.
Hey,
Kobe is
hello.
able to do it.
Man,
Steph did it.
James
Steph did
Harden.
it. He don't do it. He doesn't do it no more. Drive to the back and get you the shot. James Harden for the past 3 or 4 years takes the ball to the hole, or he'll take that step back and kill that motherfucker every single time.
Right. Well, if you want to do it every single time, Beasley, in the regular season, then don't complain about your 6th and 7th man coming off the bench when he missed that jumper that you hit him for wide open because you getting double teamed because he ain't shot all season long. You're gonna have to have some team camaraderie going on too with your best player.
No, of course.
James Harden is a defensive liability, man.
Hey, listen, man.
We going to General. Go ahead, General.
Hey, listen, man. All right, y'all want to make your arguments about players. You take 5 players like James Harden and put them on the floor against 5 players like Kawhi Leonard. James Harden will lose.
He will lose.
He will lose. You know why? Because James Harden doesn't play any defense. Kawhi Leonard is a two-way player.
Okay.
Yes.
And not just that, he got way too much jelly.
Hold on, man. I know it's passionate. I've been listening to the conversation.
He don't play no defense.
He doesn't play any defense. Okay, that's number one. So if you want to take 5 players when you talk about the game of basketball, you got to remember it's different than football because it's a two-way sport. Right. You got to play offense and defense. So when you got a player like I would take just to throw my 5 out there. I want Kawhi Leonard. I want Steph obviously at the point because he's a distributor. He does pass the ball. That's his job.
But he don't play defense either.
But that's his job. But that's his job.
None.
He doesn't have to because that's his job.
He don't have to because he got Klay Thompson.
Can I finish, man? Can I finish? God damn, bro.
How long would you do that? Go ahead.
God damn. I'm just trying to get my 2 cents here. And then you got to look. You want someone. You take Giannis Antetokounmpo. You take Giannis Antetokounmpo. You put him down there at the 5 because you can do that today. He doesn't have to be a 7-foot center. But on the other side, guess what I want? I want Anthony Davis out there because the game is stretched now. Because Anthony can shoot the 3, he can pull defenders away from Giannis. They all require double team. They both play defense, and they're going to give you numbers on the boards, rebounding and offense. That's what you got to think about. Okay. Then I'll put LeBron out there because LeBron has the experience and he's going to be able to kind of run the team. All right. After that, it's basically a plug and play in today's game. If you really want to think about it, it's because you could put Ben Simmons out there with that team who can't shoot, but he's a great slasher. You could put, it's a myriad of players you could put out there on the floor right now. What's the boy from Dallas? The boy from overseas,
Luka Doncic.
You could put Doncic out there. He's a decent defender. He's a decent defender. He can shoot the ball. He can pass the ball. See, basketball is a lot different than football because football you have specialty players. A receiver is a receiver. That's his job. And basketball, you don't have as many specialty players. Like they used to have what was called the 3 and D guy. He can give you the 3 and he can D up. That was relished back in the day as basketball began to evolve. You understand? So that's how you guys got to look at it. You got to look at it from both sides of the spectrum. That's why when the conversation of who's the greatest of all time, the GOAT, when you do that, man, and everybody, I know the younger generation want to give it to Mike because that's what they grew up on. And I know older generation guys, they'll say Bird, they'll throw out, different players. You can't narrow it down to one player. If you count championships, you got to give it to one Russell, Bill Russell.
Hell no.
Why not?
Because he ain't that good.
The motherfucker win 11 in a row.
Yeah, on the best team assembled with salary caps non-existent.
But see, here's what you want to do. He went 11 in a row.
It's as simple as this, man. In today's world, we don't got a time machine to go back and watch Bill Russell play, but we do got YouTube, and you can watch. You could type in 1964 NBA Finals, and you could watch an unedited game from back then. And the overall level of play wasn't that good back then. Point guards could barely put the ball in the offhand. So I side-eye any accomplishments from the 60s. I'm sorry.
I do too. And Bernard, here's one thing we forgot, Bernard. We forgot one major thing in this conversation. Who can play 82 games? See, a lot of these guys can't play 82 games no more either.
I'm not going to use that as a fact. They can, they just don't. but I'm not going to use that as a factor when we're talking about the greatest. I give it to Mike. And I'm not going. I don't pull out people from the '60s. They got amazing stats from the '60s in a different era when we can watch film and see point guards that can't even put it in their offhand. That's where I'm at with the '60s. But we talking about the greatest? We're talking about the greatest. Yeah, I give it to Mike. And
why?
LeBron. Who said why?
That's me. Why?
Oh, you said why?
Yep.
Okay, I average it all into the equation. I average the stats, the overall accomplishments, and the eye test. Those are the three factors. My eyes tell me.
Okay, so let me interject real quick. So you're gonna give it to Mike over a guy who averaged a triple-double for his career?
Not his career, for a season.
So no, career. Look at it. Go back and look at it.
Okay, got to pull stats again. He didn't average it for his career.
The reason why he didn't average it for his career because they
didn't measure it like that.
It was one statistic that the NBA didn't count, and you'll always hear this come up, Bernard. They'll always say if they had counted this particular stat, then he would have averaged. But back then,
they say that about Wilt Chamberlain with his blocks because they didn't keep track of blocks until like 1969.
Who is he talking about?
Oscar Robertson. They always kept track of rebounds and assists, and Oscar Robertson had 1 year where he averaged a triple-double. But either way it goes, you keep this in mind. I said I average stats, accomplishments, in the eye test. So even if Oscar Robertson get Jordan on the stats, which he technically don't when you look at their overall stats, but even if Oscar Robertson get Jordan on the stats, he don't got him on the eye test or the overall accomplishments. So therefore Jordan going to trump over Oscar Robertson.
I'm old enough to remember Big O. He was pretty nice with it.
Do you think he was better than Jordan Beasley?
No.
He wasn't as quick as Jordan, but his game was flawless. He had no weakness.
We gotta stop pretending like we can't go on YouTube and watch unedited games from back then. Like we can watch.
I remember when he won the championship with Kareem before Kareem was Kareem.
Yeah, and I watched it in Milwaukee.
That's 1971.
I know, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm so much of a basketball dork. I actually go on YouTube on my TV, type in 1971 NBA Finals, and sit back and watch the whole game. And I saw it. So he wasn't all that damn good. By today's
you say he's not.
I feel what you're saying, man. Go ahead, Joe.
It's a difference when you try and compare eras because back then a point guard was a point guard was a point guard. A 4 was a 4 was a 4. A 5 was a 5. So now you got players that are integrated. Michael Jordan's natural position was at the 2 guard, but he played a lot of. He also played, if you think about it, he also played a lot of small forward. If you think about it, if you really look at it, and then here's a guy that dominated the basketball almost 60% of the time when he was in the goddamn game. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that back then. The game wasn't played that way. So imagine if every time they came down and they did this with the Big Dipper, they did this with him. Here's a motherfucker. They said, "Oh, you can't pass." The motherfucker went out and averaged X amount of assists for a season. Oh, you don't play defense. The motherfucker went out and averaged X amount of blocks. He said, "Oh, you can't score." He went out and scored X amount of points. Everything they asked this dude to do, this motherfucker excelled at it. Right now, he didn't win a lot of championships at that particular point in time, of course, because you had. Teams that were stacked. The Boston Celtics kept a stacked team.
Exactly.
So that's how that happened. This is why you cannot specifically sit down in a game of basketball and say Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He is one of the GOATs. I'll agree with that.
But man, I'm gonna be honest, man. Jordan is the GOAT, man. I'm tired of people arguing because he was a dog, man. Hey, look, listen. Let me tell you why. Let me give you my reason why, man. This is how I look at it. I know it's a preference thing. Everybody GOAT gonna be different. But see, I look at it like this. I love people in the NBA who are dogs. And when I say dogs, they play nasty. Like my favorite guys are Jordan, Kobe. I'm a Westbrook guy. I love Westbrook. Mm-hmm. I love KG. And if you notice, all the people I'm naming, they dogs. They when you on the court, you can be my best friend off the court. But when we on the court, I'm gonna eat you alive. I love those type of players. Like I'm gonna be honest, man. I love LeBron. I'm finna finish. I love LeBron, but he too nice. He passed the ball too much. Ben Simmons is LeBron. Hey, look, Ben Simmons is LeBron like. He's the new LeBron. I'm telling y'all, if Ben Simmons had if Ben Simmons had Patrick Beverly Hart, he'd be the best player in the NBA.
Hey, GA boy, the reason why LeBron James is not the GOAT is for two simple reasons. No, first of all, if he could shoot free throws, he would be the GOAT. Just simple as that. Because he can get in front of the rim on anybody, even today in his 17th, 18th year. He just be scared to shoot the free throws at the end of the game, like Mike. So he want to kick it to the corner to some dude who rarely gets shots, and then get mad when he missed the shot. You can't be the GOAT like that, bro. Hiding from the limelight, you cannot be my GOAT. You got to take that ball and put it in the hole.
He's not a dog. Like I said, he's not a dog. That's why a dog is not gonna kick it. Kobe gonna dunk that bitch on you. God rest the dead. Kobe was not kicking it to the corner. That's why I love Kobe. Jordan wasn't kicking it to the corner. That's why I love Jordan. Those guys were dogs.
If you take Scottie Pippen off the boards, they do not win those championships.
Bullshit. You could stick any 20-point guy in there and we'd have won them championships because Mike took it upon himself to hit the last shot.
Nope. See, here's why when in these conversations we get things misconstrued. The reason why is because there was a system in Chicago and it took certain players to play within the triangle system. And that's why if you take him out, you could coach a motherfucker to play in it, but the intangible thing, to know what to do, to know what your teammates are gonna do, to understand how the triangle actually works. This is why if you take him out of the equation, Mike maybe gets one. He doesn't dominate those 3 back-to-back championships that he had. That's why.
Okay, Desky, are you saying take him out and replace him with who? Because when you was talking about other guys you could replace Pippen with, you were naming top 5, top 10 players. So I think if you take Pippen out and you replace him with another top 10,
All-star.
top 5 player, yeah, then they probably will win. But to what General was saying, I agree. It was a certain continuity in chemistry. You talk about how Pippen was a dog who took over. That was part of what made it work. That Pippen was content with just getting the 20 points that came to him while getting rebounds, assists, and shutting it down on defense. So it was he was the perfect complementary player, the perfect Batman. I mean, a perfect Robin. To Jordan Batman. It was a perfect situation.
Here's why I say General wrong.
Real quick, hold on. If you would have, let's just say, if you could have put Dominique Wilkins right there, they would have won championships, but I don't think they would have won 6 because the chemistry wouldn't have been as good.
Okay, here's how I deconstruct that argument. Let me say this too. Let me rebuttal you. Let me rebuttal you real quick, General.
I'm not saying that Mike would not have. I'm not saying that the Bulls, and I know you're a Chicago guy, get it just like I'm an LA guy. But what I'm telling you is, it took a certain caliber of player to fit into the triangle system. All right, you could have took Penny Hardaway and replaced Pippen with Penny. You could have took Charles Barkley and replaced it. It just wouldn't be the same because those guys don't fit the structure of what they were looking for. This is why teams go out and they specifically look at in the offseason when it comes time to move players around in the trade deadline and all that shit. Teams look for players who fit the system.
Mm-hmm. Like what Des James saying in the chat, that would have worked because Clyde can dribble and pass, and he would have been able to fit right into that Scottie Pippen role.
But there's more to it than that. But
can I say something to that? Can I rebuttal that a little bit to give you something to think about? First of all, we never went to a game 7. We never struggled against these teams. Mike will always put it down on their asses, and we be through with them. 40, 50 here, 55 there. Whatever he had to do, he gonna do it. He gonna go on a personal run in the 4th off the free throw line. We already know this. So all you got to do is play a serviceable role. If you could just keep them close, anybody could just keep them close, and it's over.
Yeah, but you underestimating the reason that as a team they were close, because as a team they had good chemistry and good continuity. So you can't just say, "Oh, we just would have passed it to Jordan and we would have won." Like it's more to it than that. But if you replace them with somebody, like I said, like let's just say if Jordan and Dominique would have been on the same team, off just pure talent and athleticism, they would have won some championships, but they wouldn't have had the chemistry to win 6. That's the point.
That's up for speculation. I agree somewhat, but that's up for speculation because we never struggled. And Mike got 6 MVPs out the deal.
Number one, you can't argue with number one, you can't argue with history because we know what happened. We can only look at the what ifs because that's what brings the question about. We can only look at the what if. Okay, that's it. We know what happened after Shaq left L.A. They got another. Kobe got his ring without him, which people said that he would never do.
It took some years though.
And then y'all keep saying that like Gasol was the best big man in the league. Go back and look at them numbers. Bynum was averaging.
Hold on, time out.
Gasol was averaging 19 and 12, which led the league.
Okay, damn it, I'm tired of pulling stats on y'all. He wasn't averaging 19 and 12. No, he wasn't averaging 19
and 11. Okay, go look at it. Go look at it.
I will pull the stats. Gasol never averaged a clean 20 points and 10 rebounds, so he wasn't the best big man in the league. During that time, Dwight
was
Howard,
the best big man.
Holy shit, Nick.
Let me finish.
Hold on. During that time, Dwight Howard was averaging 22 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks, winning Defensive Player of the Year. Kevin Garnett was still better than Paul Gasol during that time. Tim Duncan was still better than Paul Gasol during that time. During a brief moment during that time, Yao Ming was still good. Amari Stoudemire was doing his thing with Steve Nash, so he was arguably better, even though I might still go with Gasol.
Yao Ming couldn't stay healthy enough, Bernard.
Bro, Gasol was still balling during that time. So you just can't say he was the best big man in the league. He was definitely top 5 big man, and once him and Kobe got rolling, Gasol was probably a top 10 player in the league. So, but he was
triangle well too.
He was Kobe's Scottie Pippen. So let's not overrate Gasol.
Man, Gasol was averaging plenty of points when he played in Memphis before he came over there. Plenty of points, and plenty of rebounds. And then when he came over there, him and Bynum was the best big man duo in the league. Now, come on, let's keep it
what? They say Gasol's soft, but Gasol's still in the league. He's still playing.
You also have to understand that you're talking about what? A system. He was the best big man to fit into the system, which was the triangle.
He fit in the triangle.
That's what you.
How many rebounds did he used to get? He used to get a lot of points off of offensive rebounds.
Look at those stats.
Decent stats.
Let me make sure I got the per. Okay, that's the per game stats. Okay, so right now we looking at Memphis.
His offensive rebounds weren't that big. My bad.
All right, so no, his rebounds. This is him in Memphis. He never averaged. See, there go 20. Okay, he got close. He averaged 20.8 and 9.8. Now I'm going to show y'all. Okay, now from here on forward. Right there where it's at in yellow, that was when he first. Damn it! Come up.
That was the year that we lost to the Celtics.
You get rid of that. Yep, you're right.
But the year before,
right here, where
talk on talk radios that Kobe was leaving.
Look at that.
Kobe's contract was up.
This is his first year in LA. He only played like 27 games for LA that year because he had got traded mid-season. So he played 27 games for LA. His first full season in LA, he did average 18 and 9, and they won a championship in 2009. Now this year, gotta give him credit, he got his rebounds up. That was was basically after he got punked by Garnett. He like
and whose stats was better than his them 2 years, Bernard?
What you say?
Whose stats? How many big men stats was better than his them 2 years?
I can
no, Beasley. No, Beasley.
A lot of players.
In 2010, so in 2010, the year that they came back and beat the Celtics, he had his best season. So if you want to know who had better stats than him that year, Dwight Howard, Garnett probably went better than him in 2010.
Not in 2010.
It was debatable. So
look
Garnett,
look how his rebounds went up.
Yeah, his rebounds.
He became more of a force.
He manned up this year. So I got to give it to him. He manned up that year. Let's see. He averaged 1.7 blocks, 11 boards, 18 points. Now. Dirk was still better than him, and Dwight Howard was still better than him. By then, he had beat out Amari and Kevin Garnett. So he was probably the third best big man in the league. He was a top 10 player in the NBA.
Exactly. And then when you look at Bernard,
when you take the microphone out of your mouth, man,
hey, Bernard. When you look at Bynum, you can't really see how good he really was because he was always injured. But when he played, he was killing.
Okay, for that, I'll say this. I'm about to pull some stats on that.
When you look at the increase of Gasol's production, it was because of Bynum's injury issues. That's the reason why his numbers went up because Bynum didn't play as much.
And also, is very important to point out, that year that they beat Orlando in the finals, Bynum was coming off that injury. He had got healthy right when the finals started. He only averaged 9 points and 6 rebounds in the finals that year.
He literally came back for the finals, dude.
Yeah, and against the Celtics, they basically beat the Celtics without Bynum because Bynum was nursing injuries then. So,
exactly.
So I mean, Bynum was damn good, but to say, but
he was damn hurt.
You can't you can't overrate Kobe's supporting cast to try to say that Kobe just had an extreme amount of help. Because if you look at the big picture, and keep in mind, I still say Jordan the greatest, but look at what Jordan had for his help. If we had to say who better, Pippen or Gasol, okay, Pippen better than Gasol. If we got to say who was better and more effective out there for what they brought to the table, Rodman or Andrew Bynum, Jordan got way more out of Rodman than what Kobe got out of Bynum. You got to go all the way to the fourth best players to say Odom versus Kukoc, and that's probably a tie. So Jordan had help. So you can't knock Kobe and say Kobe.
Nah, Jordan helped. Jordan cast was not as good as Kobe's.
I just proved to you that it was damn near.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because Odom was an all-star. Odom was an all-star for real.
No, he wasn't. You just be making up stats and facts. And dude, Odom was not an all-star.
What he average?
Okay. I'm gonna pull out what Lamar Odom averaged.
Lamar Odom maybe averaged. He maybe averaged 15.
Lamar Odom was nasty. Was nasty for the Lakers.
He was an excellent guy. He was an excellent six man. But all I'm saying is that everything that Lamar
one of those dudes where you
hold on real quick, Complex. Everything that Lamar Odom was for Kobe, Tony Kukoc was for Jordan. That's all I'm saying. Now
he was a glue guy. He was a glue guy. Go look at the plus minus. Go look at the plus minus column.
Hold on, that's 17 that I'm looking at. That's early when he was in Miami. I'm trying to think of when they really got their team together. Hold on, I'm trying to get rid of that.
That was
up here.
2009.
Yeah, no, I know the year. I'm just trying to put the highlight on it. I can't get rid of that. Okay, so that was 2005. Shit, let me make sure I got it right. So they won a championship in 2008. He got with Kobe. This was his first year with Kobe. This year right here. All right, this is when they didn't have Gasol. They didn't have nothing. And I got shit popping up, so bear with me. Gotta get rid of that.
That's Smush Parker.
Trying to get rid of other fucker. I can't get this shit to disappear. God damn it. Disappear. All right, it won't. All right, so fuck it. Just use your imagination. All right, that was his first year with Kobe right there, the one that's in yellow. That was his second year with Kobe. This was like 2005. This was 2006. This was 2007. So his first couple years with Kobe, 15 and 10, 14 and 9. He did average 5 assists, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. That's balling. He was doing good. But by about the time when they start really putting the team together where they had expectations and he got moved to the bench, he started this whole season. So when they was winning championships, that was down here where he was averaging 11 points. That is 8 rebounds because I can't get confused with the defensive. These are defensive rebounds right here. Ignore those. So he averaged 11 when he was winning championships or going to the championship because they lost this year in 2008. He averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. But he, like Complex said, he was a glue guy coming off the bench. 2009, 10 points, 9 rebounds. He wasn't starting games, but he was finishing games. 2010, that's balling. Bynum was injured. Odom started a lot of those games and stepped up. But we're talking 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Now, what I'm arguing is that what Jordan got out of Tony Kukoc was very similar to that.
Similar, glue guy, man.
And Tony Kukoc didn't play defense, Bernard.
And that's fine. I'll give you Lamar Odom.
And he couldn't drive right.
I will give you Lamar Odom, but I will give you that Lamar Odom is a little better than Tony Kukoc. But what I'm telling you, Scottie Pippen is significantly better than Pau Gasol, and Dennis Rodman gave the Bulls way more than Bynum gave the Lakers. So you can't shit on Kobe's supporting cast unless you're going. I mean, you can't say that Kobe's supporting cast was just so great unless you're going to say the same thing about Jordan. Now, did Kobe have a lot of help? Yes. Having those big men down there, that shit was key. Even when Bynum was injured, just having 2 7-footers back there that shit was valuable. So
they averaged more rebounds than the other team every time, except when Tayshaun Prince got in Kobe ass. Other than that, they was out rebound everybody.
Hey, you know, Bernard, another player that's kind of in the same vein of what we're talking about, and then I'm about to shake off out of here in a second, fellas, is Andre Iguodala. He's the same type of play. He's a glue guy. Like so many things that he does across the stat board that really you have to look at the plus minus box to really see his effect. Like I'm telling y'all, that's really the plus minus box is the tail of the tape for any player. It basically says when this motherfucker's on the floor, does the other team start running it up or not? That's basically what it says. That lets you know how effective. It don't matter how many points he puts up. If he puts up them points, but when he's on the floor, like there's a plus 10, then that means that even though you got 20 points of production from him, when he was on the floor, the other team got 10 points of production off of him.
Right.
You got to look at the plus minus.
Real quick.
I got to shake, fellas. I got to shake, fellas.
All right, peace. Come play.
I'm gonna go too, man. You guys know your stuff. This is a good conversation. I want to do this again.
Hey, Bernard. If you want to talk about the last 3 championships that Mike got, maybe Kobe team might not be as good. But when you talk about the first 3 championships with Shaq and Kobe, no. Kobe had the way more advantage. He had a way better team than Michael Jordan.
I agree. Kobe, that's one thing where Kobe hold on real quick. Let me deal with this. Des James says, he said, would Jordan have won as many championships had he been in the West? Now, this is where I love to break down logic. Okay.
The East was better then.
If he won the championship that year, that means he beat the best team in the West. So why would we then think that if he was in the West, he wouldn't have came out the West if in order to get the championship, he had to beat the best in the West?
Fact.
Logic. All right. I love doing that. But damn, what was you say? Oh, yeah. Kobe, as much as I look, Kobe my all-time favorite player. I don't think he's the greatest. I could, but he's my all-time favorite player. And I do think he get overrated when people just say 5-time champion, because
he
was the second option during those first 3. And it's some That's why he wanted to break away from Shaq, because he knew in order to solidify his career, he had to do it without Shaq. He had to be the man. He had to be the go-to guy. He had to be the number 1 option. So I respected him from that. He was trying to run away from a super team while people today trying to create super teams. So I respect him for that, even though he damn near, when they put all that heat that he got, it did look and feel like a super team, because Gasol, Bynum, and Odom ain't nothing to sleep on. But overall, yeah, you can criticize Kobe for those winning those first 3, as he said he was a sidekick, even though he had an important role, even though he took over a lot of those games in the fourth quarter and sealed the deal. He still was the second option to Shaq. Shaq got 3 Finals MVPs, and Shaq was the one that I forgot when we was naming players that was better than Pippen in the 90s. Shaq was the one I forgot. Shaq was a beast, and anybody
because Shaq gonna put you in a penalty in the first couple of minutes of the game. It takes 3 centers. You gotta put 3 bomb centers on your team to just to foul them. So that's gonna put Kobe at the free throw line every time you touch him, which is gonna make his stats go up. Plus, Shaq was the MVP 3 times in the finals. Kobe knew he wasn't getting around Shaq till he got him out of here. So I respect him for that too.
Yeah. Big Game Orenthal James says Kobe was averaging just as much as Shaq. That's partially true. The reason where that's not true is that in the 2000 NBA Finals, that was only Kobe's second year as a full-time starter. He averaged 22 points. He averaged like 22.6 rebounds, 5 assists, and first-team defense. He was basically Scottie Pippen that year. So he had a Scottie Pippen role. The next season, Shaq averaged 28.7 points and Kobe averaged 28.5. And if you look at the playoff stats, other than the finals, because Shaq dominated in the finals, but through the Western Conference playoffs, Kobe did have better numbers than Shaq that year. Because they was going up against, they went up against teams that had good big men. They went up against the Spurs, they went up against, I forgot who else. But either way it goes, it don't matter how good the big man is, Shaq dominated either way. But Kobe killed it in the 2001 Western Conference playoffs. So it's partially true that Kobe was putting up numbers, comparable to Shaq. But overall, the whole total body of it, especially in 2000, where Kobe was injured during the finals and they still won, even though he took over in that I think game 4 when Shaq fouled out. But still, Shaq was the man, and you can throw some criticism at Kobe for winning with the general trying to come back. You can throw some criticism at Kobe for winning those 33 rings with Shaq, but I think he solidified himself by separating from Shaq and still going to get 2. So, and there's that. That's where I'm at.
Again,
I agree, Bernard. But I think go ahead, General.
That goes back again. When you say that Michael Jordan is the greatest, then you got to look at players like Shaquille O'Neal, because you're not talking about by position. You're simply talking about by time and era. You can't say he's the greatest because who was the most dominant?
Jordan.
In that era. No, Jordan was the most dominant because he won. But Shaq
he was the most dominant because all his stats went up in the playoffs.
Look, you can't take. Listen, man. Name me a better center than goddamn Shaquille O'Neal. Name him.
I can't.
Only one person I think that we can even have this conversation with, and that's Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was the deal.
Tim Duncan wasn't a center; he was a power forward.
That's arguable because he always played center too.
Tim Duncan was not a center; he was a power forward.
He was a
Name
power
me a better
forward.
center than goddamn Shaquille O'Neal.
You can't.
I can only think of one player that even comes close throughout the history of the fucking NBA. It's only one. Well, 2. I'll give you 2. Wilt or Kareem. That's it. That's the pinnacle. That's the mountaintop.
Now I agree with you on that.
So how in the hell are you gonna say that Michael Jordan was the greatest? Only reason why people say that is because of the eye candy. That's the reason why. And because what Nike and what the NBA did to promote this guy. That's the reason why.
Nah.
Listen. All right, let me show you, man. I love Mike just like everybody else do. I love the man's body of work. I think he's one of the greatest. All right, one of the greatest. Right? But this is what I would tell you. Name me another player that the NBA and commercials promoted more than they promoted Michael Jordan. The way that they promoted Michael Jordan.
And why is that? Because he accepted all challenges and he defeated them. They had to give him.
No, it's not that he accepted all. It's not that he accepted all challenges, because the alpha defender on that team was Scottie Pippen. Period. Make no bones about it.
No, real quick.
The alpha defender on that team, the alpha defender was Scottie. Scottie was the man that they put on the best player from the other team. And then to make matters worse, guess what? Guess who used to tear Mike's ass up? And a lot of people don't even realize this.
Mitch Richmond.
Which is why one reason, huh?
Mitch Richmond.
No. Well, Mitch Richmond used to give everybody buckets. But that boy that they went and got and put on the team with Mike when he was over there at Cleveland used to give Mike ass the goddamn
Ron Harper?
Mr. Ron Harper.
When he was on Cleveland.
Put Mike ass.
He used to stay, but Mike used to give him the business too. Come on now.
What? What?
He said Jordan used to get Harper the business too. I do want to respond.
Yeah, they did. They used to give each other the business, but at the end of the day, they realized it was like, hey, look, see, it's more to it than just emotions, man. Everybody want to look and say, oh, Mike was the greatest. Yeah, he was, because the NBA I ain't taking nothing away from him, but the NBA and TV made it so he was the greatest. Period.
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna circle back to that, but I do want to deal with everybody who's talking about how Hakeem Olajuwon dominated Shaq in the NBA Finals.
You crazy?
First things first. Shaq still put up his numbers. Hakeem Olajuwon, they team they outplayed Shaq's team, but Shaq still put up his numbers. But Hakeem Olajuwon in that moment, he was better than Shaq. But I don't think that Hakeem Olajuwon can fuck with 2000, 2001, 2002 Shaq. And that's where I'm at with that. Shaq was a beast in Orlando, but he was young. He was just raw genetics out there running around. He was a genetic freak. But by early 2000s, that's when he put it together. He knew how to wait on the double team and pass out of it, repost, catch it, drop step, boom, basket. Like he was unstoppable by the time he got fully in his prime. But he was a genetic freak in Orlando. But so I can't give it to Hakeem over Shaq. I don't give it to no center over Shaq because I got my bias against when we start talking about the 60s, and it may be an unfair bias, but that's my bias. So as far as I start going from from the NBA really took off in the 80s. Kareem dominated the 70s, and I talked about the gameplay in the 60s. Our point guards couldn't even put it in the offhand. They started doing it a little more. The game started to pick up in the 70s, and it took off in the 80s, and Kareem dominated that era coming out of the 60s. But Kareem was past his prime for most of the 80s. For damn near all he won his last regular season MVP in 1980. That was Magic rookie year. So, it's hard to really measure because we look at all Kareem championships that he won. He won a lot of them past his prime in LA, when they had that Showtime going. So it's hard to measure it. But overall, I put Shaq number one. When talking about centers, I give it to Shaq, even though it's other people who got better resumes. Kareem got a better resume. Wilt got all them stats, and Russell got all them championships. But for my money, I go with Shaq. I say that. Now you were saying something. You were saying something else about Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot what it was. Go ahead. Happened? No. Go ahead. I forgot what you were saying.
There were not that many players out there like Mike. Okay, Barkley was an anomaly. Got to give him his credit. Mm-hmm. Can't take nothing away from him. But there simply was not that many players out there in Mike's class like there are today. It's just too many today.
Oh, you're talking about far
the
as
game
like
evolves and people want to.
Wait a minute. You talking about like how Jordan was just a 6'6" athletic freak of nature, basically?
Yeah. Okay. He was just Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was clapping because people don't point that out enough. When Jordan
Mike
came in the 80s, Jordan evolved the shooting guard position. Okay, the shooting guard used to be, more prototypical of a, let's say, like
you borging out, man. It might be me. Let me go out and come back in, brother.
Oh, I'm borging or you borging?
You okay? You good? You good now? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, let me fix it. I'm thinking I need to buy another cord or a whole nother mic. But the shooting guard position, it was a lot of like Craig Elo, Danny Ainge, even Joe Dumars, all those guys, they like 6'3", 6'4", mid-range spot-up shooters. As far as the long arm, athletic, 6'6", high-flying shooting guard, Jordan created that. Clyde Drexler was coming along in that same time, but it was a lot of Danny Ainge type shooting guards out there. And so when Jordan came, everybody wanted to be like Mike, and that position evolved to about when we got to the 90s, we start seeing, all these athletic shooting guards. Jordan basically created all the, the Kobe, Vince Carter, T-Mac, all those shooting guards, and even the ones that wasn't that great still. It was a lot of athletic ones like, Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson was real athletic when he came up out there. It was so many of them that the position evolved and the overall athleticism of the shooting guard position changed after Jordan. But when people try to argue that, the people like Jordan was going up against 6'4" more flat-footed guys like, Hersey Hawkins and shit like that, it's some truth in that. It's a lot of truth in that. Damn Jeff Hornacek, it was a lot of people like that was just ill-equipped to guard Jordan, and he went up against a lot of those. And so it is a fair criticism that in the 80s, Jordan, it was a lot of big men who, when Jordan went to the hole, they was contesting his shots, his dunks, his air reverses, and all of that. He was getting contested when he went to the hole. But the guy in front of him, it was a lot of flat-footed people who wouldn't Even go Joe Dumars had defense. Don't get me wrong on that. But Vinnie Johnson was another little 6'3" shooting guard, that used to pull up mid range. It was so many of them.
Right.
That position was not as tall or athletic until Jordan came.
Remember, the NBA at that particular point in time, the average point guard. Let's look at the average point guard. The average point guard in the NBA at that particular point in time was still about 6'1", 6'2". The average two guard was still about 6'4", 6'5". There were not a lot of 6'7" two guards in the NBA. Just like Magic, that's why Magic was an anomaly, because he was a 6'9" fucking point guard, legitimately 6'9". Okay, then you got to turn around and you have to actually ask yourself. Okay, you put Mike on the floor in his prime with a goddamn guy like what we have today. You match with shooters like Steph Curry. Put him on the floor and have him defend. If you talk about all defensive players, now I'm not taking away from the man; he was a great defender, but they didn't have the skill set that Mike had. Mike was head and shoulders ahead of his time, and I'll tell you why Mike was ahead of his time. The same thing happened when Dr. J hit the goddamn scene. The same exact thing happened when Doc brought that different animal to the NBA. The NBA was still about basic bounce pass and basic run, jump, shoot. When Doc came in that motherfucker, it was about, I'm about to take off from one side, go underneath the backboard and scoop this motherfucker in on the other side. Or matter of fact, I'm just going to fly over the top of you motherfuckers. Afro flying back in the wind and shit. They didn't know how to defend this motherfucker. There was not a lot of athletes that were around in his era. Had Dr. J had the machine behind him with the 24-hour news and with the 24-hour sports network, ESPN, that later came on board in 1982, got big and popular in 1984. A lot of motherfuckers, if they had had that back, when Dr. J first hit the NBA, totally different story. It wouldn't be no question about who's the greatest. Remember, this was prior to the merger, the ABA and the NBA. You understand? Yeah. A lot of motherfuckers, a lot of these guys that talk shit about Jordan, they don't even know that the ABA was a formidable foe against the NBA. Because I had an opportunity to watch and see as a child some of the ABA games long before the artist Gilmore got to the NBA, long before Dr. J got to the NBA, long before my man number 44, I can't think of his goddamn name, with the finger roll. Long before he was in the NBA,
George Gervin.
George, goddamn right. Smooth. Iceman, George Gervin came from the goddamn ABA. So this is why they talk that shit. And I get it. You've been inundated to believe that this is the guy of guys, because a lot of y'all were not around to see a lot of the guys that were his predecessors that came before him.
Oh yeah, Jordan definitely built off the people that was there before him, but
which he was supposed to.
And the people that came after Jordan built off Jordan. But that's funny with Lord Star Scream is saying, because that's my argument. Even though I put Jordan over Kobe, but when he say my criticism is Jordan never had to play against the players that he created, that's the best argument somebody could make for Kobe over Jordan. That Jordan created all of those monsters that Kobe had to defeat the monsters that Jordan created. That's the best. That's the best argument somebody could throw out there to put Kobe, to at least balance the playing field with Kobe and Jordan. Jordan,
the man is. Oh, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, Bernard.
Jordan got better stats, accomplished more championships, more this, more that. Everything side by side with Kobe. Jordan better across the board. But that's one argument that can get tossed out there that you do got to look at. The game did change. But go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Because look, after Jordan came, who a lot of people don't even want to talk about, motherfucking Ray Allen. They forget about a young Ray Allen.
I remember when he dunked on McGrady. Ray Allen had some hops.
That motherfucker had game. He didn't just have hops. He had
no. I was bringing up his hops because that was that's the most underrated thing about his game back in the 90s and early 2000s. He was basically like,
he was always dunking on motherfuckers. He was always putting motherfuckers on posters.
I know, but people now just remember him for shooting. But no, he was banging on
right.
people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, you see how the time turns because they didn't get to see this guy as a youngster when he was over there in Seattle because that franchise went away, so they don't remember that. They don't remember the Seattle Supersonics. What happened to the Supersonics had a chance to goddamn actually win a few championships had they been able to keep that team together when they had the Rain Man and goddamn my guy from Oakland, Gary Payton. If they had been able to keep that team together and then add fucking Ray Allen, they'd have been in the mix.
Oh yeah, Riddler, real quick. You must be kind of late because we already relitigated that, and I conceded the point that Kobe had a definite advantage playing with Shaq, and when he broke away from Shaq and went and got those rings without him, he solidified himself. So yeah, but we already relitigated that. I don't like when people just say Kobe 5 rings and then just try to call it there that's one area where people can overrate his accomplishments because the championship is a team accomplishment, and the only person you could truly give it to as an individual accomplishment, and I give Jordan credit on this. Jordan won his 6 championships. He got 6 finals MVPs. He won the finals MVP for all his championships. People like Kareem, who got 6 championships, Kareem only got 2 finals MVPs because James Worthy won some, Magic won some. You see how that go. So it do matter whether or not you the absolute 100% man or not on that championship because Kareem was past his prime.
But that's because the game became a popularity sport. It became a popularity sport. The MVP was won by the most popular player, not the 9 times out of 10.
No, I'm not. I was talking about finals MVPs.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
No, that was finals MVPs ain't popularity. Nah.
Yes, it is.
You got to earn that.
I'd say more often than not, it's earned.
I disagree.
They sometimes give them away cheap. I think like Andre Iguodala got a cheap win. Kawhi Leonard got a cheap Finals MVP where he only averaged 6
He should have got that. Kawhi Leonard should have got that MVP, and that was one that was deserved, well earned when he was over there with Toronto. He should have got that. I'm not
talking about that one. I'm talking about his first.
No, he had better stats. He had better stats than Tim Duncan. He earned that MVP too.
What I'm saying is all finals MVPs aren't created equal because they had a balanced team.
Not all MVPs are even created. I mean, Kobe only had 1 MVP. Steve Nash owed one of those MVPs to Kobe. Only reason Kobe didn't get that MVP is because of the rape charge. It was too soon. Yep. And I'm gonna need y'all to stop this blasphemy against Kobe's name, man. I mean, hey, Shaq had Penny Hardaway before Kobe was even thought about, and what did he do?
But they got there, they just couldn't win it.
Couldn't win it. Swept.
Right, but they got there, they just couldn't win it. That's what I'm telling you. They got there.
He lost to a one man. He lost to arguably the only one man band finals winning team in NBA history in the modern era.
Who are you talking about?
Hakeem Olajuwon didn't have not one other All-Star on that team.
You see, that's where these arguments get.
See, Pablo, you're old fella. Hold on, wait. Pablo, you're old fella, but you're mixing your years up. The year that they swept Shaq and Penny, Clyde Drexler wasn't there. Clyde Drexler claimed there the following year.
Okay, I think you might know.
But he still had.
Ain't no Mike. I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Checking it right now. I'm gonna prove you right or prove you wrong. One or the other.
Oh, you gonna prove me right? Clyde Drexler was not there for the Shaq and Penny. Clyde Drexler was not there for the Shaq and Penny. Wasn't there? He was there the second year. He wasn't there in '94. He was there in '95.
I think he might be right. He might be right on that.
Okay,
ain't no Mike, goddamn.
Well, let me say this, man.
That is facts. You just stated something that was facts.
If somebody wants to say Michael Jordan is the greatest, I can't argue him down on that.
But who did they have on that team?
All role players. Robert Horry, Kenny Smith, Mario Elie,
Vernon Maxwell.
I mean, bro, they didn't have one. Oh, and Sam Cassell.
Hold up, fantastic. Hold up. 1994 Houston Rockets. You can see right there. They beat the Knicks. They didn't get Drexler until 1995 because Drexler is not pull up the stats. Drexler ain't on this roster.
He's
Well,
looking for
that's the year. Well, 94 is the year they beat. That's the year they swept the That's the year they swept the Magic. Then, bro. I'm telling you.
No. It's right here. I'm looking at it. Hold on.
All right, well, go to the next year, bro. You're not looking at. You looking at 93, 94. Look at 94, 95 then. Because 95, 96. Hold up, 95, 96, 96. You know everything's always a year off.
All right.
So the Bulls won. The Bulls won in 95, 96, 96 Bulls, 97 Bulls, 98 Bulls.
All
so
right,
that means
look right here. Okay, 95, 90. That's 1994, 95 Houston Rockets. Who did they beat? Look right here. Hold on, right here.
Orlando Magic.
They swept the Orlando Magic. You see that? Now let's go and now let's look at the. Hold on. Now we're gonna see who they had on their roster. Clyde the Glide Drexler. So it wasn't a one-man show. They had Clyde, who averaged 21 points, 7 rebounds. Now, I got you. Had to pull the stats on you. Had to pull the facts.
Fuck out of here. I do not remember Clyde being on that fucking thing.
Yep, Clyde was there.
But see, here's the deal. Kobe, my all-time favorite player. I'm with you, Kobe. I'm with you. I don't give it to him as the greatest. Like I put Jordan over him, and there's a few other players that I put over him. But if somebody going to criticize Kobe for Shaq being just an outright dominant brute force that won all 3 of them finals MVPs, that's a fair criticism. But what I already argued earlier in the show is that Kobe having Gasol, and I pulled Gasol stats. Gasol never averaged a clean 20 points and 10 rebounds. Other than 2010, after he got by Garnett, he basically beefed up and got tough, and he averaged like 18 and 11. But other than that, Gasol was normally at like 9.8 rebounds. Like 19.8 rebounds, 18 points, 9 rebounds, or some shit like that. So I pointed out that comparing Kobe to Jordan had Scottie Pippen was better than Gasol. And I pointed out that Andrew Bynum staying injured, Dennis Rodman was better than Bynum. And even if you look at their 4th best player, Lamar Odom was just barely better than Tony Kukoc. Yeah. So I pointed out that Jordan had, technically more help for those last 3 championships than what Kobe had for his 2 that he won without.
He had first ballot Hall of Famers, man. Stop it. That was still in there.
If we looking at what Jordan did, in his first 3 versus Kobe in his first 3 is no comparison. Jordan was the man, Kobe was the second option, even though he closed out and was, clutch and finished a lot of those games. But that is a knock. That is an undeniable knock. It don't make you just drop him out the conversation, but that is something that you got to average into the equation when you're talking about Kobe overall legacy in those 5 rings. He did.
But Bernard.
Yeah, but again,
come on, hold on, fantastic. Come on now. You're trying to you got a man that's playing with goddamn Shaquille O'Neal, the arguably the most dominant player of that era. Okay, you're trying to tell me that if Michael Jordan had been on, if replaced the 3 centers that Chicago had and put motherfucking goddamn Shaquille over there, you telling me that Michael Jordan still would have goddamn been considered the man on that team, and you got the greatest center, one of the greatest centers to ever play the game on your team?
Yeah,
ain't
no way.
Fucking way.
If Phil Jackson was coaching Jordan and Shaq at the same time, Jordan would have hated Shaq too, because Phil Jackson would have ran the same strategy. And
he would have said the same. He would have told that motherfucker, "Hey, Mike, guess what? The first option, put that motherfucker in the hands of Shaquille and shut the fuck up. Do your job."
Yeah, Jordan.
Well, he didn't want to pass the ball to Steve Kerr for the open jump shot. You know what I mean? I think what was that? 90? What was that? Was it 90? Was it 96? I think it might have been 96.
Yeah, it probably was 96. Yep, I think you got the year right on that one.
Now let me get in here for a second. As an old head, I cannot understand if somebody wants to say Michael's the greatest. Okay, I can't argue against it. But why Kareem gets so much disrespect is beyond me. The man won in high school. The man won in high school. He won in college 3 times in a row, and he won 6 world championships in the pro. What else do you want the man to do?
The media killed Kareem, man. The media killed Kareem. When Kareem did the whole Muslim thing, when he did it at the time era, he did it. and his and just his personality type. The media killed Kareem. Kareem wasn't they never were gonna let Kareem become the face of. He was the face of the league for the couple of years he was in Milwaukee, and then he went to LA. And once he got to LA, then you had him paired with Magic Johnson, who's just like probably one of the most charismatic individuals, arguably in the history of the game. So yeah, he was never going to eclipse that man, and it was the perfect excuse for them to use too. So that's the reason why Kareem won at every level. I think he won like every year in high school, he won every year in college. And like you said, he got the same amount of championships as Michael Jordan does.
And he's the scoring champ of the NBA.
The all-time,
the overall thing. And people don't understand too. He dominated he was actually dominant in 3 eras of the NBA. He was dominant in the 60s, he was dominant in the 70s, and he was dominant in the 80s. So I think he was averaging up to 18 or some shit up until like 3 years left. So like 17-year period or some shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, man, that's all it is. The media did him wrong. As I said, I would argue that all day. I could put together a case to argue that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is better than Michael Jordan. You can do that.
He the only one that on paper, if you didn't even watch no games, if you just look at it on paper, everything he accomplished, his shit is neck and neck right there with Jordan. If you include his college stats, because I think he won 3 back-to-back NCAA championships and was like the player of the year 3 years in a row. If you average his college career, then you got to give it to him. You got to.
I agree with Fantastic. I agree with Fantastic. It's a PR situation.
But see, this is my knock against this is the one argument that I've made against Kareem. His 5 MVPs, his regular season MVPs, they came in the 70s. His last MVP that he won was in 1980. That was Magic's rookie year. So a lot of people don't realize Kareem was past his prime throughout, the whole Showtime Lakers. So when the NBA took off and got exciting and got all the notoriety and popularity in the 80s, Kareem was no longer a dominant force. So it was partially the simple fact that he dominated the era when it was the ABA and the NBA was. I'm getting some background from somebody. The NBA and the ABA was split up, and so the 70s was viewed as a weaker era because I think Dr. J and George Gervin, all of them was in the ABA. So it was it's like he dominated a weird era where the league hadn't even really took off yet. And then when it did take off, he was on the right team at the right time, but it was the Magic Johnson Showtime show. So he was just pushed to the back burner. So you almost can't knock it. And then you average his personality in the whole Muslim thing in there. And so and then he gradually got older and older, and then he just faded away. But if you look at the stats, the records, the accomplishments, you gotta give it to him. Like he's on paper either 1 or 2 on paper.
Yeah, I don't even understand like this LeBron James arguments, man, for these new people, especially these old niggas that's in love with LeBron. They want to catch his draws and shit. All they want is jock strap. I don't get it, man. I just don't. I mean, LeBron is great. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's once in a lifetime talent. He's some on the level of more like a Shaq or Wilt Chamberlain than he is a Michael Jordan, because it's his physiology that gives him the advantage that makes him so spectacular. If you go back and the game of basketball and you've seen LeBron James is extremely, extremely underdeveloped in his game, his first at least 4 years. I think by his maybe 4th or 5th year, he finally developed a jump shot. He could do something outside and just get to the hole and penetrate or whatnot. We're not saying of course you play to your advantages. Shaq's not gonna cross over just like Allen Iverson's not gonna post up. But in order for you to say Michael Jordan came into the league, bro, with again, I think this is what people still not gonna get it, because a lot of people they're not bad. They don't play basketball. They watch basketball. They don't understand the game. Just to see the skill that Michael Jordan had coming in as a rookie, and to hear Larry Bird and Magic Johnson tell you who were the fucking alpha and omega of basketball at that time. Like no one thought you could get bigger or better than Larry Bird and Magic Johnson tell you this man is the future, this dude is the truth. And everybody in the league pretty much having to say this consensus, and instantly, like once they played against him, hey, you heard the legend, you heard him talk about this kid, he can't be that good. And then everybody, like within his rookie season. You know, this rookie of the year, and then a couple of years later, when he had the MVP and the defensive player of the year in the same year. A lot of things, man. Just like you'll never see again, or not necessarily again, but in a long, long time again in the NBA. And the level of competition and the people that he had to overcome in order to get there. So yeah, Jordan is definitely, you know, earned his title at the top of the mountain or sitting side by side to Kareem. But my whole thing is with this LeBron James thing, man. LeBron James and people, well, he's got more points than this person. He's got more points than this person. Well, that comes with longevity, man.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? He retired once, in 94. He's gone for 2 years, came back, only played 3 years, and then came back at 40, and he averaged 23 points a game or 22 points a game at 40. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, people don't even, you know, they don't contextualize it and put the shit in the proper, you know, order, even when they're talking about that. Because if Jordan had played 20 years straight, bro, it wouldn't even be close. Not even Kareem, he would have blew Kareem out of the water. You know what I'm saying? So just that, and you know, they want to give LeBron all this help. LeBron has had the biggest media machine behind him in the history of any other, bigger than Jordan, even way bigger than Jordan, because media wasn't out there like that.
Hold on, fantastic. He had, I would say that his is a little bit bigger than what Mike had, because remember, when Mike hit the league, ESPN was in its baby stages. There was no 24 sports news network when Mike. Well, it was just starting, and it wasn't nationwide. It was just a local station. So then when ESPN came about and went national in 1983-84, right? This is at the height. Remember, Mike was just starting off, and they were just starting off. This is why they had Stuart Scott. Booyah! He pushed Mike. He made Mike really that motherfucker that all eyes on as far as media is concerned. Okay? Then you had other networks that were out there pushing. WGN out of Chicago went national across the board. So the NBA was the machine that got behind this guy and made this guy exactly who he is. Much like today, now you have social media, extra added things. This is why you have people that don't understand the comparison between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, or why there even is a comparison between them two.
Our Star Wars, I'm gonna block your ass when we talking about great players. When the nigga that bring Robert Horry name up over them 7 rings gonna get blocked. Get out of here with that shit. I hate that when people say, "But what about Robert Horry 7 rings?"
Yeah, man, but that's a straw man that people use in arguments, man, to try and take down Kobe or try to take down Jordan. And you know they gonna bring up John Sally, they gonna bring up Robert Horry. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Motherfuckers do that shit. It's just about the rings. All it's just about the rings.
Because John Sally got 7.
Hold on, real quick. I gotta pull this out of Fantastic. Where do you rank LeBron all time? Where you got him?
Where do I rank LeBron? I got LeBron at like number 8.
Ooh. That's almost fair. That's almost. I mean, I rank him higher. Than that. I like LeBron.
Nah, listen. But my top 5 goals. You have to be, for my top 5, as big of a Kobe fan as I am, Kobe's not in the top 5. For me, it has to go by, you have to be the best at your possible position. For me, it goes Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Tim Duncan. Everybody always underrates. Tim Duncan is the hands down best power forward. Everybody's pretty much said it. You know, five rings, even though they never did a back-to-back. Just he dominated over, you know, a couple of different eras. I think Tim Duncan had 3 regular season MVPs. I know he had at least 2 and 2 finals, and 3 finals MVPs. But then everything 6 through 10 for me is Kobe, then Shaq, then
you out of line with that one.
Huh?
You out of line with that one.
I'm out of line with that one.
You out of line with that one. I'd have to put Shaq in my top 5, baby.
I got Shaq in top 5. I got 5 too. Go ahead. What's yours, General?
My top 5 would arguably. You talking about by position?
No.
If I had to,
however you rank yours. This is how I do mine. This is how I do mine. However you do yours.
I have to go with. You have to go with Kareem, then Shaq, then Mike. Then Kobe, then Magic, then Bird, then Kobe. That's 6. I had to put him in there like that. See, I do one and one alpha. Okay, my center at the center position, 1 and 1 alpha. 1 being at the top of the pinnacle is Kareem. The 1 alpha is Shaq. If I had my choice and it was my pick and I'm building the team, if I can't get goddamn either one, if I can't get Kareem, I'm picking Shaq. If I can't get Shaq, I gotta have Kareem. So I do 1 and 1 alpha at the center position.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then when you look at the forward position, when you want to go power forward, oh, that's even tight. I had to go with Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Period. I had to go with Tim Duncan. Period. The 1 alpha to that, power forward. The 1 alpha to that, I can't say Kevin McHale. I can't say none of them motherfuckers. It would.
Gotta be Moses Malone, man. It's one of them Malones. It's either Moses Malone or Carmelo.
Well, Moses was a center.
Are you trying to come up with like the next best power forward?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's either Karl Malone, Barkley, or KD.
There you go, Karl Malone. I have to take Karl Malone. 1 and 1 alpha. At the small forward, shit.
That's an easy LeBron for me.
Y'all better put some respect on Larry's name, man.
No, I got
a lot of respect on Larry's name.
Well, 1 and 1 alpha yet again, because you're building a complete team, a starter and a backup. So 1 and 1 alpha. You have to go with Larry Bird, and then you have to go with LeBron.
Telling you, man, and I see them in the chat, motherfuckers. Fantastic, got to revert, man. Listen, again, bro. Skill is going to beat ability all day, bro. All right. Even Michael Jordan told you that. Once I think he had the knee surgery or whatnot, and he said that's why he developed his turnaround jumper, his fadeaway jumper so much, because even though he was still more athletic than everybody else, he lost some of his explosiveness. And if you keep trying to fucking use your athleticism, you're more likely to get fucking injured. Man, I'm telling you, bro, skill for skill, Larry Bird is probably a top 5, bro, if not a top 3 all-time player, bro. He could shoot, and again, he couldn't jump over a piece of paper. So that's why I'm saying you got the least athletic person that's able to give you the same. Bro, LeBron has been one of the fastest, if not the fastest, the highest jumping, the strongest, has the best physiological build and all this shit for like the majority of his whole time in the fucking NBA. Larry Bird never had any of those things, bro. He was still able to dominate. Larry Bird came into the thing and asked which one of you niggas coming in second, and they didn't whoop him. That's how good Larry Bird was. Okay, Larry Bird had use of the N-word back in the 70s and 80s, brother. He was authorized. Okay?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yes. That's how good he was.
ML Carr, actually, one of his teammates doing I think his second championship, actually said that. So yeah, Larry was that motherfucker. He was a country cornbread white boy that motherfuckers had to put some respect on his name in the NBA, because Larry was type motherfucker coming there and talk major shit to you. Hey, look, I'm going for 45 tonight. You know that, right? So
I'm about to start a fire with my top because I rank LeBron higher than what y'all do, man. All right, I ain't going by position. I'm just saying this is my more or less top 10, even though I'll probably stop at 9 because I don't even know who I got 10. But I know I do Jordan number 1. I got my biases against Kareem, but I'm not gonna argue with the man record. So I go Jordan, Kareem. Ooh, controversial. I'm going LeBron.
Say Shaq.
LeBron, Shaq.
Bro, you hold up. Wait.
Here we go.
Bro, you got LeBron in front of Magic Johnson. Even if you don't I can give you Bird.
Magic was coming.
You got LeBron in front of Magic Johnson, bro.
Magic and Bird was next. Let me just get through it. Jordan, Kareem, LeBron, Shaq, Magic, Bird, Kobe probably next. But sometimes I want to put Duncan ahead of Kobe, so it might be Duncan Kobe. That might be
bro, I'm hurt.
Then
Nigga, I think you just gave me COVID. I think you just gave me COVID over StreamYard, nigga.
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
my God.
He gave
Stop
me
it.
COVID with that shit too.
Stop it, bro.
I fuck with LeBron. I do. I mean, I like
Man.
big. I like them. Like you was talking about, just natural athleticism. Just Shaq and LeBron, just some genetic freaks of nature. You gonna take skill over them genetic freaks.
But you leaving out. But you leaving out
Monstars. I like the Monstars, man.
Right. So if you're gonna take Monstars, you gotta go with motherfucking you gotta go with the Big Dipper, Wilt Chamberlain.
I told you how I feel about the 60s, man. Point guards couldn't dribble with their left hand back then.
But you talking about one position, man. The center position hadn't changed. Same shit.
Nah. You can type in 1964 NBA Finals and watch an unedited game. You're gonna see Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. The niggas couldn't play basketball that good.
I understand what you're saying now. In Wilt Chamberlain's prime, name me a motherfucker other than Shaquille O'Neal that might have been able to put up a motherfucking fair fight against him. One-on-one, Imano. Name me a center.
Only Kareem and Bill Russell. And I think it was like some white man named I can't think of the white dude's name.
Yeah, he played for the Minneapolis. He played for
George Michael.
No, not him. Not even George Michael. No, it wasn't George Michael. Yeah, it was like Bob Pettit or somebody like that.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, whatever. Bob Pettit, he's Hall of Fame.
Man, the tape don't lie, man. The tape don't lie.
Well, when you talking about eye candy, yet again, you're talking about eye candy. Listen, man, there's a legend out there where Magic and all these guys, the top guys, were playing pickup basketball. There's a legend. This happened in Los Angeles, where I think they said Wilt was nearing 60 at the time, and they were playing full court. And even Magic said, huh?
He was just retired. He was.
Yeah, okay, it was somewhere around in there.
Yeah, he was either late 40s or 50.
Even Magic said, if he wanted to, but Mike was there. Even Magic and Mike and all them guys said, man, I ain't seen nothing like it. He could come back in the league today and dominate. This is a motherfucker at 50 years old.
I'm not moved by legendary stories. I'm just not.
You don't have to move. You don't have to move it because you're going off eye candy. Eye candy. For the eye candy, yes. The look of how they play the game. You have to give it to Mike. Mike was the most flamboyant. Mike was the most flying, gliding through the air and all that charismatic and all that shit. That's eye candy. Okay. The next motherfucker close to Mike, before Mike, it was Dr. J. He had the eye candy. The gliding through the air, big afro blowing in the wind, all that shit, dunking on motherfuckers going underneath the backboard and all that kind of crazy shit. It would be Dr. J. Then it would be Mike. After that, it would be you have to throw in Dominique or LeBron. After that, for eye candy.
Let me say this. When I say I use the eye test, I mean, no, that ain't the only factor. I go stats, your overall accomplishments, and the eye test. When I'm talking about the eye test, I'm not talking about eye candy. I'm just like, for example, John Stockton was not flashy, but I could still.
I'm glad you brought up John Stockton. Yeah, John Stockton is a top 5 all-time point guard, even though he got without rings.
Yes.
Put it like this: back then, Tim Hardaway was my favorite point guard. But I could analyze the game good enough to tell John Stockton was a better point guard than Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway just was flashy and had more eye candy.
Okay, I'm asking
John Stockton was doing. John Stockton eye test beat out Tim Hardaway, so it's not about eye candy. So when I
got you.
I'm looking at the game and your overall.
Looking at the game, yeah, their game and their total,
right, their game and their stats and all that. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one. You take John Stockton over Allen Iverson?
As a point guard, yeah.
As a point guard, at a point guard, yeah. As a player, no.
Yeah, if I gotta pick one, and I don't know who my other player gonna be, I gotta pick Iverson. But if you give me a big man, let's just say if you're gonna give me a big man to play with him, let's just say if I know Chris Webber gonna be on my team, then my next pick, Iverson and Stockton on the clock, I'm taking Stockton.
Yeah, and Iverson was so fucking selfish, man. And people that's what tripped me out. People call Kobe selfish, right? And motherfuckers don't remember that Iverson ran Jerry Stackhouse up out of there. He ran Larry Hughes up out of there. They had a big man that they ran up out of there, but that didn't work. He was half trash anyway, and it would work out. It might have been, was it Vin Baker? I don't know. Vin Baker got traded to the Sixers. I forget whoever it was.
Yeah, it was.
But Iverson wanted to be a one-man band, bro. And the only reason they finally got rid of it was pretty much like he's the reason Larry Brown left. And then after that, they was gonna move on because it was pretty much over after Larry Brown left, and he was trying to make him get Andre Iguodala up out of there too. And it was just like, nah, man, like, bro, your era is over with. You know what I mean? You're getting older, you're undersized. The impact on the game is not the same, and basketball was changing. That's when they was changing from the hero ball one man band thing to the Phoenix Suns and the run and gun and the team, the run and shoot thing. So yeah, man.
Iverson fucked up the Pistons. Man. Let's
revisit this. You take John Stockton over Magic?
Hell no.
Hell no. Stop it.
At the point guard position, but
fuck no.
We're looking at everything minus championships. We're
looking at hold on, Magic Johnson is a point guard, man. Point G-O-D, not even a point guard.
I understand what you're saying, but we said going off of Bernard's sentiments that he just laid out a moment ago. He said, "I go off of everything." So minus the championships, you look at Magic and Stockton.
Okay. Magic's still a better point guard. He's a better passer. He's a better passer. He's a better scorer. He's more clutch. He can play in either system.
This is why you cannot.
Overall stats are better too. I mean, John Stockton got the longevity thing going, but Magic stats was better. And his overall just eye test, just watching him.
Yeah, exactly. Hands down. He's a 6'8", he's a 6'7", 6'8" point guard, man.
Right. So my point is this. This is why you have to separate the stats from the actual eye test of the game. You have to. Because if you don't, you're gonna fuck around and rank somebody over somebody that shouldn't be there. By all accounts, Charles Barkley was the prototypical motherfucking small forward. By all accounts.
Well, no, he was definitely wasn't a prototype. No. Charles Barkley was an anomaly, man.
I don't mean
he's an anomaly.
Okay, anomaly. Yeah, I misspoke. I mean anomaly. But by all accounts, name me another motherfucker that at that position that did what he did.
At his size, nobody.
I'm not even talking about at his size. I'm talking about just in general.
Well, Karl Malone was just as impactful as he was as a power forward. And Tim Duncan, of course.
Other people did it. They just didn't probably do it exactly how he did it.
He played small. I believe Barkley was small forward.
He played power forward.
No, he played power forward.
Did he?
He was a forward.
He was an undersized power forward.
Round mound and rebound. I think Charles Barkley
wide. He was wide.
I think he said his actual height is 6'5" and 3/4. He said, I think.
Yeah, something like 6'6". Even though, on his mug shot, he looked like he was 6'6" on his mug shot. I guess so. He had shoes on. Well, with shoes on, he looked like he was about 6'6" and a half. So he might very well.
Him and Mike was about the same height. They were side by side where they would call them photographs and different shit. They were about the same.
I give him 6'6", and on his mug shot, you could see the measuring the measuring tape behind his mug shot, and it was just over 6'6" because his head was shaped funny. But he was over 6'6" with shoes on. But I think they said shoes off, he was under 6'6". So,
but this debate will continue to evolve simply because you got people that come from different eras who obviously have their pick. You ask the younger guys, they're gonna go with LeBron. You ask the generation before that, they're gonna say Mike. If you go with the generation before that, they're gonna say Magic. It's just how it is.
Yeah. I don't go based off generation because I know a lot of people do that, but I got a mixed up, jumbled up. Like, and I think my top 10 with the controversy in there because I got LeBron so high. But look, put it like this, man. LeBron, if he would have just pulled it off one more time against Golden State, man, he have a real good case going. He have a real good case going if he could have pulled it off one more time against them. But so
if LeBron had won 4 championships.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 9 that he's been there, he's got 3 now, right? 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If LeBron had won 4 prior to him being in the position he's in now, I could understand that argument.
Yeah.
Against the GOAT. I could understand that. See, there is no argument when you to me, there is no argument when you say Kobe and Mike. There's no argument. It's either 1 and 1 alpha. It can go either way with me. Mike being 1, Kobe being the 1 alpha, Kobe being 1, Mike being the 1 alpha. There is no argument there. You can't. You can talk about MVPs. That's all suggestive. That's all. That's that's okay. Popularity, get it, votes, whatever, right? But when you talk about player for player, overall stats, eye test, and all that shit combined, it's either 1 and 1 alpha. There is no 1 and 2. So I think for LeBron to be entered into that conversation, he would need to have had won at least 4 championships.
That's why I'm pissed that LeBron that this damn COVID-19 shit going on. Because LeBron was about to get him one this year, man. I hope they.
Oh yeah, he was about to get one.
I hope they get a playoff back going, just or do something. Come back, play 15. Play. I don't know. It's because all the players, by all accounts, they say you can't just take 2 months off and then just come back and play a playoff. That's all.
No, you can't. No, you can't do that. That makes no sense. You can't just come back and then go into a, have another mini season, 15, 20 games, and then go into that won't work. Because what's going to happen is they're going to asterisk the game, the champion this year. That's what's going to happen. That's just like the lockout. They're going to put a fat ass asterisk down there, and then that'll be another argument that people will come up and say, well, if COVID-19 hadn't happened, who knows?
Hey, man. All I know is ain't no excuses. His ass better win no matter what. I don't want to hear it. If you don't win this year, you're not winning. And I would say, I would go as far to say this. If you don't win, that dirty motherfucker, he's going to demand a trade or he's going to leave, because I think he's on it's a player option on his 3rd year for him anyway, right? And AD hadn't re-signed, and that was a reason. That was a fucking thing. So if fucking they don't win this year, and they lose to either the Clippers or whoever, or so on and so forth, and they get bounced, look for LeBron's dirty ass to go somewhere else and take AD with him and fucking fuck the franchise over, just the way he did everywhere else he went. If he didn't get his way, or if he wasn't able to fucking win, or he got embarrassed. I told him I was fuck with LeBron fans. LeBron fans, they don't own a jersey. You know what I'm saying? They just earn like the pull off sweat pants. The rip away pants.
What?
They just get those with LeBron James on, so they can change the team he gonna be on the next year.
Man, this is where I'm at with this season, man.
Boy, you crazy as hell.
If Milwaukee, LA, Lakers, or Clippers, if one of those teams win, I'm like, if they somehow, I don't know, have a little bullshit 15-game regular season wrap up and then start the playoffs. If Milwaukee, LA, or the Clippers win, Milwaukee, the Lakers, or the Clippers win, no asterisk. But man, if some bullshit happen like the Utah Jazz fuck around and win, I'm like, all right, this season don't count. I just hope some bullshit don't happen.
I don't see it happening like that, man. I still think one of the top contending teams. I mean, you will have like a dark horse chance. Like the people, I think people are sleeping.
Go ahead.
I think people sleeping on like the Rockets. The shit's crazy, but they was able to pick it up and do something with it. They got Westbrook found his groove, and he went from motherfucking shooting like he had like nubs to like this motherfucker was possessed by a combination of Steph Curry and Larry Bird. It's all at the same time. But somebody like that, or out of the East, Toronto's still a deadly team. Or who it is really benefits the most right now would be the Sixers. As long as Joel Embiid ain't eating motherfucking hamburgers every day and getting fat as fuck, like he did on the fucking training table. The Sixers are a young team. They're an actual contender. And that's probably the only competition I could see in being able to beat the Bucks or, Celtics. I don't like the Celtics. The Celtics should have kept Scary Terry, man. Terry Rozier. They did the whole thing with Kemba for like, a big name signing to like try and appease the fans. But man, Kimba's in the way on that team. So I don't even really think the Celtics got a chance, man. But yeah, you gotta look for some dark horse teams like the Sixers or a team like the Rockets or even motherfucker. That's another thing too. Dallas. Hey, see, Bernard know the hell he's seeing. Bro, I don't like it all. If whoever's at number 8, if I'm trying to dodge Dallas, man, because with Luka and then motherfucker sleeping like the unicorn, then fucking have him I think he had a couple of 40-point games.
If he fuck around, if this break doesn't let Porzingis get himself recalibrated,
man, that's what I'm saying.
It's like game busters and just run through the damn playoffs. I'm gonna be like, man, that's when I'm gonna put an asterisk on the finals if Dallas wins.
I wouldn't even put an asterisk for them though, because like I said, that's a dark horse. That's a team that, like, if you know basketball, you can understand them winning. You know what I'm saying? If it's some wild and crazy shit, like as good as Denver is record wise, I can't see Denver winning a championship. No way. I would be on some bullshit on that one. Or who else? Like Memphis. Memphis number 8. That's who it is. Like if fucking Buddy, even though he's raw as fuck, he's like Allen Iverson with like 10 times more athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
John Morant. If Morant was able to fucking wheel his team to the fucking finals or even like the Western Conference Finals and shit like that, I would like be, what the fuck is going on here? Something's not right. But yeah, man, one of those really good teams that may not have the record or whatnot, but they got the personnel and they got the play style, and Rick Carlisle is still the coach, so you know what I mean, shit like that, man. I wouldn't discount the season if somebody like that won.
Yeah, I just hope no bullshit happen, but yeah, they got to figure that shit out. They got to get the if they just say scrap the season, we ain't crowning a champion, like, man, that's going. Like LeBron, I know you can fuck with LeBron, but his legacy gonna be what it is. And he even if you a harsh critic of him, you still got to give him top 10. But he got a chance really to move up if he can get a ring this year. And so to take this year,
it's not just move up. It's not just move up, man. If he gets a ring this year, it makes him, everything's aligned. Kobe died. Michael Jordan came out with this series. The season was shorted. COVID, pandemic, complications and all these things. It's the ultimate fucking, triumph story for LeBron, and that'll be what he needs for people to go ahead and put him right next to. Yeah, put him right next to, if not officially over Jordan. So he knows everything's right. Yeah, everything's riding on this season for him, bro. Because if he don't win this year with AD, AD is hands down the best player he's ever played with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, best
player he's ever played with. And he's still AD's in his prime. AD, you could argue that AD is the most dynamic big man between him and Giannis. Is 1A, 1B, depending on who you want to take either in any given night. But yeah, man, you don't have an excuse, man. That's you're the 2020 Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they had 17 games left in the regular season. So what they would have to do, what they would have to do is come back and do. It wouldn't necessarily be a shortened season. They could come back and play the rest of those 17 games to get an official lineup of where everybody's going to fall within the playoffs, and then go ahead on and go into your playoffs as usual. Now, it might be a shortened lapse between when the playoffs start and the end of the regular season.
Nah, they wouldn't do that, man. They're gonna shorten the games. They might play like 4 to 5 more games or something to get it out. It's like, 82 games or whatever it is to make it an even number of games, and then go for there, because no matter what, they not trying to fucking compete with football in football season. You see what I'm saying? They don't want to extend the season past the normal NBA season parameters and the draft and all those other things. So they may say that and they may talk that shit, but for money and logistics purposes, you don't want to be competing with the NFL, bro. The NBA is getting there, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, so they want to be done. They want to be done with their season. I think football is starting, September.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, they're going to be done. If they get them back on the court in June, they want to wrap up their playoffs in July and mid-August. They want to get their shit done by mid-August, and then they probably wouldn't start at their regular time. I don't know though, because you got to think about it. If they get them on the court to play some regular season games in June, them playoffs start in July.
Nah, they'll be there, man. They trust, believe me. If they have to do the fanless game shit, they're gonna do that, man. Whatever they can do to streamline this shit, and it's just something for they trying to prepare people to get used to that shit anyway, because well that's a whole nother thing. We're gonna get into that, but yeah, I just see them doing the same thing. It'll be in the same timeline. You may be like a week off or something. You know what I'm saying? At the most 2 weeks. But they're not going to extend the NBA Finals time anywhere past like 2 weeks and whatever it normally be, because you're not trying to compete with them.
In order for them not to extend it, they would have to play a maximum of 8 games and then go into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
yeah. Shout out to the big game Orenthal James. They were talking about that too, bringing it back to format that they had in the 80s and 90s, where the first round is 5-game series, and then the later rounds will be 7-game series.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I hope they figure that shit out one way or another. I hope they figure it out, because man, I'm missing my b-ball right now, man. I'm missing it.
But shit, we all are. Hell.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. It's rough out there. Let's see what these niggas talking about.
They should have let this shit happen during baseball season.
Yeah, nobody give a fuck about no baseball. I don't know. Even people that like baseball can't sit at home and watch a whole damn baseball game without falling asleep. That shit boring as hell.
Yeah, especially with and what Houston just got proved that the motherfuckers were cheating. They was pulling a Patriots motherfucking playbook.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to with this football. See, I hope Belichick give it 10 years without Brady so we can get a full sample of how good that team going to be without Tom Brady there, so we can end that debate. Do Tom Brady deserve all that respect, clout, and notoriety, or is Belichick gonna have that fine oil?
He's still a cheater. He's a fucking cheater. Fuck Tom Brady, cheating ass Tom Brady. All the motherfuckers cheat. Even their owner is a cheater, going to the motherfucking massage parlors and shit. This motherfucker is a cheap cheater at that. He didn't want to get a fucking expensive escort. This motherfucker's a billionaire. He got to go to the motherfucking to the shopping center handy job motherfucking place, man. This nigga, man. Patriots is all rotten all the way up and down, man.
He got a flea market getting his damn escorts.
Yeah, man. This motherfucker got with a coupon. He had a Groupon too, I heard. He didn't even pay full price.
Well, I knew that the jig was up when they let the Patriots win the goddamn shit during the start of the goddamn war.
Thank you. Oh my God, General. You remember them? I remember them saying it. How patriotic is this? For on the heels of 9/11, that the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl. I was like, oh my God. I remember them saying that shit too when I was a kid back, and I was like, oh, look at this shit.
God damn. Man, I don't know. I don't know about this. It's funny because with the cheating thing, they be like, well, everybody do it. But so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't.
They shouldn't have won that Super Bowl against Atlanta. Atlanta was beating the fuck out of them.
Oh, why you said they shouldn't have won it? They came back.
They shouldn't have. Ain't no way. It just ain't no way.
You saying they cheated?
That's the Georgia. That wasn't no cheating there. That was just Georgia, man. I'm sorry. I trust me as a person from Georgia.
I got what you're saying. I get it. They shouldn't have won that Super Bowl. In my opinion, this is just my humble opinion. I don't know what the fuck happened. I lost my goddamn mind. Okay, we all know at the end of that goddamn game when they did not give my man the goddamn ball on the 1 yard line.
On the one, that was rigged. That was rigged. Now, I don't give a fuck whether it was whatever or just the NFL saying, because they was pissed at Marshawn Lynch. They didn't want they didn't want to give Marshawn Lynch the fucking finals. The Super Bowl MVP, or they didn't want him to get the shine or whatever it was, bro. Everybody know, and you look for that 30 for 30. I can tell you, how they doing the thing right now. I promise you, when all of those guys are retired, the Legion of Doom and all that shit. The Legion of Boom, my bad. The Legion of Boom, all those guys retired, and what's the coach's name?
Damn.
Steve, not Steve.
I forgot. We know who you talking about.
Yeah, the old USC coach and shit, bro.
Yeah,
they gonna come out and they gonna talk about that shit, man. They gonna expose that shit. Cause I'm telling you, the NFL definitely has something to do with that. There's no way you don't give Marshawn Lynch the fucking ball on the one in the Super Bowl, bro. No way.
Well, your boy, my homeboy was the one who actually came out, and that's the reason why he left. That was the reason why. What's Sherman?
What did he say? You talking?
He said,
Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll.
Yep, that's his name.
Pete Carroll. He said before he left there, they asked him, well, why you want to leave this, that, the third. He said there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you just wouldn't understand. He said right after the motherfucking game happened, matter of fact, he talked about that. He was like, I thought they gave the ball to Marshawn. He said, I was already getting ready to celebrate. And they hurry up and squelch that interview that he had.
All
so
right,
it was some bullshit.
This is where I'm at with it. I ain't no conspiracy theorist to the point to where I think a call came from upstairs from the NFL offices saying pass the ball to the other team. I don't think that's what happened, but I think that coaching staff got in their own head and they made a stupid ass play call because they like, okay, we got the Super Bowl in the bag. We can either get a ball to this nigga named Marshawn and let him be the Super Bowl MVP.
Bro, you had three. It was a first down.
Or they was like our crystal clean golden boy Russell Wilson could throw in the touchdown.
Bernard, stop it. Bernard, stop it. What happened? You got Marshawn Lynch on the motherfucking best running back in the NFL.
And it wasn't.
At that particular point in time, I don't give a fuck if the president had a call. Obama himself could have called down that motherfucker and said, "Hey, don't get that ball to Marshawn." Guess what I'm doing if I'm the head coach?
All right.
Hey, y'all.
Marshawn. No, we don't disagree on that. They should have ran that ball 4 fucking times in a row.
Thank you. On the first fucking down, bro.
No, they was on second because they had a first down like 8 yards out or like 10 yards out. He ran and he got to the 2 or to the 1. And then
he got to the 1.
Okay,
so or the 2, I can't remember. I was wrong once before the day. I ain't gonna do it again, nigga. It might be the 1 and the 2. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was the 1. And so yeah, they should have handed that ball to him 3 times. I think the coaching staff, out of their own stupidity, they wanted Russell Wilson to make the game-winning touchdown, so they tried to call a play so Russell Wilson could throw it in, and so Russell Wilson could get they golden boy can get the finals MVP and get carried off the field from Tom Brady.
I disagree. They didn't want to give him because that was during the time they was holding interviews, and this motherfucker said, "I'm just here so I won't get fined."
And that's why they didn't want to give it to him.
Right?
Yeah. We all agree that it's around not however you wanted it to be. They didn't want Marshawn Lynch to be the fucking Super Bowl MVP.
Super Bowl MVP.
Whether it came from rather the coaches was thinking that, or rather the call came from upstairs from the NFL office saying, "Don't let that nigga win."
It was the NFL. It was the NFL office. I'm telling you who did it. In my mind, that's who did it. Hey, y'all, you bet not. You cannot get that ball to that nigga. Y'all get that ball to that nigga. God damn it, you won't get shit else. We cutting deals.
Oh, okay, possible. But this is the most goofy way I explain that shit. And Fantastic, I know you probably at some point you used to play Madden, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how you create yourself at quarterback, and you in that situation, and you about to win the game, even though it's a situation where you should run. But you want to give your created player the touchdown, so you call a play you shouldn't play and throw it in, even though you should have ran. That was what they did. That in my mind, that's what they did. They wanted Russell Wilson to get that game-winning touchdown, just like I would want my created player to get the game-winning touchdown. Russell Wilson was a golden boy. That's what they wanted to get the game-winning touchdown.
You're talking about.
They called a fucked up play.
This is why I disagree with that. You're talking about history, NFL. You're talking about legacy. You're talking about your name going in the record books as a coach, NFL champion 2 times. That's what you're talking about. It ain't no coach in their right motherfucking mind. Never been done before that a coach ever motherfucking, in my opinion.
Real quick, Gerald. Hey, and real quick, Gerald, bro, you would have beaten 2 of the top 3 all-time fucking QBs and Peyton Manning and fucking Tom Brady.
Man, they be legendary.
Ain't no way. It ain't no way you make that
ball.
It ain't no way you make that call. It was other coaches and other players said 10 out of 10 times, I'm giving that ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Man, I don't care who I got at running back. I don't care. I could have fucking Barry Sanders right now with bad knees. If I got OJ Simpson right now, I'm running the damn ball.
But that's what I'm saying, man. Like I said, on the second down, on the fourth down or whatever, hey, you can possibly sell it. Hey, it's one more play left, and it wasn't. And you know they had time on the clock, and they had timeouts. Every situation was just like, bro, what the fuck is going on here? Like, no way you call that play, bro, on the one. You just don't.
Never mind.
We were already, because I hate the goddamn Patriots. And at the little house party, we were already in pre-celebration. We was all motherfuckers like, oh, this is it. It's a wrap.
Oh.
It's a wrap. Everybody in the room was like, man, this shit over with. Let's go, baby. Let's get it. We getting ready.
And this motherfucker and Russell Wilson. Hey, and if you go back and look at the thing, bro, Russell Wilson zoomed it to the fucking whoever it was that intercepted it. I forget it was the corner of the safety, whoever the fuck it was that intercepted it. Bro, the motherfucker, it's like the motherfucker didn't even look. He didn't even know he had the ball. He was surprised that the ball came to his hands just how fast it did. It was like, bro, no way, man. He threw it directly to the man, spot on, dead in the chest. Like the receiver didn't even have a chance of getting it. It is so much shit, man. The fucking cheating ass Patriots. That's all I gotta say. At the end of the day, the Patriots cheating motherfuckers. Whether they cheating themselves or the NFL's cheating for them, the cheaters.
But NFL, it goes hand in hand. Flakegate and all that other bullshit that was going on.
Yeah, man.
The motherfuckers recording other players, other teams, goddamn training camps and practices and shit. It's the same shit. Sign stealing and all that other shit. It's all wraps around them motherfuckers, man. And then their excuse was, well, every team in the NFL does it.
Mm-hmm.
What? Every team in the NFL does it. Every team in the NFL, we monitor the other players, the other team sign calling. This is why they got all them fucked up signs with the birds and the fucking numbers and all that bullshit. No, motherfucker, come on, man, stop. Not in the modern game. I would give you that, motherfucker, 20 years ago. Today's time, motherfuckers get wired for sound and all kind of shit.
Yeah. Hey, so Bernard, now that we're in the football realm, man, I had this little argument last night, and if you allow me to pose the question, man, I gotta ask y'all too. Can I pose the question?
Go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
All right. So, who are you taking? Are you taking Megatron, Calvin Johnson, or are you taking Larry Fitzgerald?
Oh,
you said Calvin Johnson.
Oh, Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald. I'm going Calvin Johnson, but see them injuries though, you know. That's
bro. Even in the like man, Calvin Johnson again. And the reason why did he have the injuries? The man was he was a one-man band in fucking in football, bro. And he was still able to dominate at the level he did, bro. I just like it. Of course, with the injuries are from the time played. But prime for prime, man, if both of these guys are healthy and so on, bro, it's no question for me, man. You taking Megatron, man.
Got to.
Yeah,
got to. See, my thing with Calvin Johnson, we talk about paper. I mean, people just looking at him, take all his stats and accomplishments off the table. Just the raw genetics. I mean, he on paper, just looking at him, he's supposed to be the best wide receiver ever. Like you look at Randy Moss, how tall, how high Randy Moss could jump, how fast he was. Calvin Johnson was not necessarily there, but he was in that ballpark. But he was big and stocky. He was built like T.O. He was damn near built like Gronk. Like, I mean, he was a big motherfucker. So it's like to be that fast, that tall, and that big at wide receiver, man. That was he was unreal, man. He was unreal. Like he could have been the greatest wide receiver ever, easily. Could have been.
Yeah, I had to give it to Calvin Johnson. Yeah, he's
got to.
Head and shoulders, physicality, speed, strength, overall dominance. I have to go that route.
Yeah, like Larry Fitzgerald, he just reminded me just a real good, fundamentally sound. How like let's see. I don't know. You know how like Jerry Rice or like Marvin Harrison has some speed, but you know it's players like it's wide receivers like that. That was just some good.
That's why I gotta push back, man. Larry Fitzgerald is not in the Jerry Rice realm, bro. That was his thing. I think because he's coming up on retirement, he's played for so long, he's playing. Everybody's starting to compare Larry Fitzgerald to Jerry Rice, and I'm just like, bro, no. Does he have solid hands and for sure hands, and he's gonna get you that's the guy you're gonna go to when you need that fucking third and 27 fucking reception. Yes, by all means, but he's never did it when it counted the most. And you know what I mean? They didn't fucking. He wasn't able to fucking put his team over the top in the Super Bowl the one time he went. And it's just like, bro, it's much more. Calvin Johnson had everything he had, plus, he was more talented. He was more physical. He had the better plays. He had the better highlight reel, and he played with less. He was in fucking Detroit, and Matt Stafford has been he was his career QB, bro. Matt Stafford, come on, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I'm from Michigan, so yeah, so I was watching Calvin Johnson kind of close, and it was very frustrating because I know I'm looking at somebody who I'm looking at genetically the best wide receiver ever, like so he could have he should have been so much more, but I ain't giving it to him over Larry Fitzgerald. People like Randy Moss, who was NTO, who they was genetically up there with Calvin Johnson, but they stayed healthy and put up the better numbers consistently. So I give it to them over Calvin Johnson. But people like Larry Fitzgerald, nah, I ain't going there.
Yeah, motherfucker was talking about Larry Fitzgerald and the same thing with Jerry Rice. That what got me started. I'm like, hold on, man.
It's some wide receivers who just they know how to run their routes. They fundamentally sound. They got good hands. The Chris Carter. Who's the other wide receiver that played for the Colts? Shit. They played for the Colts with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, with Mark Harrison. Yeah, I know. I can't think of his name.
With a W.
He retired a couple years ago.
His last name started with a W. I cannot think. No, I think was it Reggie Wayne?
Yeah, Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne. Yep, there you go. Yeah, like people like him. They ain't all that athletic. They ain't all that tall. They ain't just this high flying freak of nature. But they know how to run their damn route, and they got some short hands. They gonna get you that first down. People, that's how I consider Larry Fitzgerald. But he ain't that dude where you feel like, all right,
I can throw this motherfucker out here, and I know.
He's not.
And bomb that. I'm about to just close my eyes and bomb that bitch. He about to go.
He's not going to get that shit in double coverage, man. Like I said, he's not on no Megatron, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, T.O. shit. He's just not. Larry Fitzgerald is like, he has the sure hands, and like you said, on like a short possession or whatever, you third and long or whatever you need that, he may get that in single coverage. But Larry Johnson's not making a fucking spectacular, game saving, game winning double coverage play like the other players are. That was just my thing.
I take Odell Beckham suspect ass over him.
You crazy as hell for that one. Now that motherfucker, as much talent as he has, man, he's self-destructing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
this motherfucker's crazy. I'll switch gears right quick for you guys, and I'll go to the game of NCAA basketball. Let's look at the 92, 93 finals. UNLV and Duke. The first game they played, they blew the motherfuckers out by 40 damn near, 30, 40. The second game, they squeaked, Duke came back and squeaked out a victory. What y'all think about that? I've never liked Duke because you could see that they were purely that was the NCAA had a cheat code for Duke University in their basketball. That was
'90s for me. '90s Duke. I like Duke. Because that was like I said, that was definitely the NCAA's. The NCAA was promoting that team. They was promoting Mike Krzyzewski, hands down, without a doubt. They were definitely promoting them. I mean, they're a good program. I mean, what's your question? Are they overrated? Are they?
Well, they were overrated.
Are you asking, was the cheat code in? Because you said UNLV blew them out in the regular season.
No, they blew them out They met twice.
Okay.
In the championship game, right? The first time they met, I think it was 91. and UNLV ran them motherfuckers off the floor by 30. The second time they came and played, Duke squeaked out, I think, a 6-point victory.
Mm-hmm.
So my question with that is, why and how do you look at that when you look at it for the eye candy?
I still don't get your quiz. Almost like you asking it was a cheat code in.
Well, no. He's saying, I mean, UNLV had but UNLV also got caught up in buying their players. So I mean, it's depending on what you're looking at that as far as like the morality thing and so on and so forth. I mean, I don't really think that's much of a factor, but I think they forfeited that one of those seasons. I think they forfeited a couple of seasons once they found out that they was paying Larry Johnson and them boys. So on that note, I mean,
that was never proven.
No, yeah, well, they were definitely penalized for it. UNLV took heavy sanctions, man.
Well, they took heavy sanctions because one of the players wasn't eligible and he was suspended for the duration of the season. And they tried to say it was some illegal recruitment done and that the grades were fixed for him. But none of that was. They were sanctioned for it when they shouldn't have been because he was suspended shortly after they found out. Jerry Tarkanian suspended that player when they found out that was the case.
Well, yeah, I think UNLV's just like Michigan and them boys, man. They didn't want the urban guys to be the face of the NCAA, man. So, the fix was in on a few of those games or a few of those teams. That was coming in because Duke was the perfect blend. You had Grant Hill, but then you had him offset by Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner, one of the greatest college players ever. He's just trash and past the pros. That's all them college white boys end up being. That's why you haven't even seen. Well, the last good college white boy was Kevin Love. All the rest of them have been fucking. Luka Doncic is foreign. Porzingis is foreign. You hadn't had like a raw ass white boy in a long time. Like
even when Kevin Love got on a good team with LeBron and Kyrie, he kind of faded away. He was only good in Minnesota.
No. Chris Bosh did the same thing. That was him playing his roles. Just like KG's number took a big dip when he went to the Celtics. So that's not.
I got you. I'm with that. But yeah, no, it's weird. They won't talk about it. They'll kind of vaguely touch on it. But that is a real thing with American white guys. Something about that college game. They can be good in college, but they cannot hack it in the pros. And it'd be plenty of times where somebody will put up all the college numbers necessary, and then they'll start saying things. His scouting report during the NBA draft would be like, well, he lacks lateral quickness, or his on-ball defense. Or they'll pull out every attribute they can to just avoid saying he's white. So even though he was damn near player of the year, he going late first round for somebody just need a spot up shooter.
I remember that shit with Adam Morrison and JJ Redick. I think that year they were going back and forth. Adam Morrison was like the scoring champ. He was averaging like damn near 30 a game or some shit at Gonzaga. He's had the whole, dirty 70s porn star look, and they were just trying to build this dude up just like he was going to NBA and tear. And I'm just like, bro, no, he's not. He's not. He's for one, he was playing in a fucking WAC. All right. He's played in the fucking WAC, which was a weak ass fucking conference. And then JJ Redick, again, he was a shooter on a team in a college program that was designated for plays for him to specifically get his fucking shot open every time. So it took JJ Redick, like, bro, JJ Redick was in the league like 7 years before he even like started mattering. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even a solid shooter for his first 4 to 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
He was and still is a role player though. He would never
always has been.
He was counting 20. Gordon Hayward is one who was, prior to that injury, he had a chance to having a solid, all-star career where he would have been a steady, consistent all-star. That injury threw him off. Once he lost what little athleticism he had, it was curtains. So he basically just a spot up shooter.
Jimmer Fredette and Tyler Hansborough too. Tyler Hansborough, Psycho T. Everybody's like, oh, this guy's 20-10 in one of the best college programs in the country. He's gonna come in the league and he's gonna. And I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. I think Tyler Hansborough was he came in when you still had Garnett, Weber, Sheed, and them guys still on the back end of their primes. I'm like, bro, he's not fucking with none of those guys. They're gonna fucking body him. And of course, Tyler Hansborough came in the league, and I don't think he never even averaged 10 points a game, bro, for a season.
Yeah, that's true with Gabe A saying that JJ Redick became relevant the last 5 or 7 years when all this 3-point shooting went crazy. Now somebody like JJ Redick, that's sort of extending his career. But back when the game was slower and even a good shooter only took about 4 or 5 threes a game, or barely that, that JJ Redick wouldn't be on the floor that much. But now that a good 3-point shooter can put up 10 threes a game, make 4 or 5 of them, then hey, he get minutes now. But his career hanging on a thread. Put it like that. This damn 3-point shooting is extended his career. So we might see some of them dudes start doing more if somebody really try to go out their way to use them right, run them off screens, a Mike D'Antoni type of offense. They probably could get a lot of shots up, but them dudes, a lot of them ain't got it. They just ain't got it.
Nah, man, they just don't. Just like this, the same thing they're doing for the white boy in Miami now. He's the dude from Virginia, I think, or whatever. I'm just like, bruh, you're playing alongside the team you're playing on. That's why if you and somebody's gonna fuck around, just like Milwaukee did with Kukoc. Milwaukee gave Kukoc that big ass contract, and they was gonna make fucking Kukoc the fucking franchise player. And womp womp womp, one of the motherfucking worst decisions you ever made in your life. It's very, very few, bro. Like what I could think of, the white boys you were able to, make your franchise player, bro. And that's what Earlybird. You wouldn't even consider John Stockton a franchise player because that was a package deal with him and Karl Malone. He was definitely second to Karl Malone.
Yep. That's facts.
Who else? I guess you had like Craig Elo back in the day.
I was just about to say Mark Price. Craig Elo was second best player to Mark Price. Mark Price was a beast.
Yeah.
Price was
man, you might have 5 white dudes, American-born white guys that have been, because Dirk was a foreigner. Dirk was Euro. All these new cats are Euro, and Kevin Love. So like I said, you might have 5 white dudes, in the modern era. Of course, you go back to motherfucking, Bob Cousy and Havlicek and shit. Yeah, by all means, back in the 60s, like, the infancy of the NBA. But, you get up to the modern era, like, 70s and forward, man. Yeah, man, white dudes ain't motherfucking, you just can't compete when it comes to fucking basketball like that, bro.
That's funny. We could just be racist and fucking say, hey, them white boys just can't compete. We don't give a fuck.
Motherfuckers will pull that bullshit. Well, you can't play quarterback. That's you can run fast, you can jump high, but you can't throw a ball. You can't. Hey, all that shit is gone in basketball, nigga.
Yeah, that's facts, man. You can get out of that shit.
Politically correct when it comes to talking basketball. Like, no, y'all fat ankle white boys, sorry as hell. Just going.
Yeah, right. Rick Barry and Bill Walton, but Bill Walton was, I think, odd too, man. Bill Walton got that one championship. I'm not, familiar with the game as far back in the 70s as to how and who he had to beat to get there. But after that, man, yeah, Bill Walton was hurt every time. I think he won a championship also with the Celtics, but that was well after his injury-prone thing, and that team was already stacked. That team already had, 4 fucking first ballot Hall of Famers on it or some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, Jerry West and Rick Barry. Yeah, Jerry West, the logo, and Rick Barry. Rick Barry was what? He was Golden State. He was Golden State, or I think might have been San Francisco back at that time.
Yeah,
so yeah, man, but still, I mean, out of all those guys, who do any of y'all niggas that's putting these names down in the chat? You got any of them white boys in your top 10 outside of Larry Bird? Outside of Larry Bird, I don't think any of those other white boys are making. You couldn't even make an argument to put any, even include Jerry West included, because whether you put Jerry West at the point guard or the shooting guard, which he really was a shooting guard, Jerry West is not making the top 3 in shooting guards, bro. He's not, and he's arguably not making it, because I'm taking Clyde Drexler over Jerry West.
Oh yeah. No, it's so many shooting guards I put up. I mean, real quick, Jordan, Kobe, Jordan,
Wade,
Kobe, D Wade,
Drexler,
Drexler, Iverson, James Harden.
You could argue Iverson or whatever over Jerry West too. But yeah, man, it's just like, you're not putting none of them white boys. You're not starting your franchise to any of them white boys. You're just not. Out of all the players you got to pick from,
actual American
the only
white
bro,
guys.
the only motherfucker
Bird
I'm even gonna consider is Bird.
The only ones you can put top 20. I mean, Bird top 10 easy, but Stockton, you could argue Stockton top 20.
No, Stockton is not top 20, bro. No way, Bernard. No way. You got Moses Malone, you got Karl Malone, you got Charles Barkley, you got you got Dr. J, you got Kevin.
Shit, you got George Gervin, you got the
George
motherfucker
Gervin.
that had you had one of the coldest motherfuckers.
Oh shit! Where we in, bro? Isaiah Thomas.
Zeke.
None of those white boys making the top 20 outside of Bird, man. No way. There's no other American. I wouldn't have another American-born white guy in the top 30 to 35. There's no way.
You got Oscar Robinson.
Yeah. Oscar Robinson, Moses Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, who else? David Robinson.
Oh yeah.
Who else?
KG. Kevin.
That's what I said. KG. I'm putting KG over any of those white boys outside of Larry Bird. I'm putting David Robinson over any of those white boys outside of Larry Bird. I'm putting I could argue Charles Barkley over any of those white boys outside of Larry Bird. So I mean, yeah, man, I don't think it's American-born white dude that's gonna make it definitely the top 30, if not, you know what I'm saying, to 40. I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I can't see it either. I mean, I guess
Jerry West is not in the top 15, bro.
I give Stockton more props than most, but no, I mean, but if I'm put to the test where I got to pick one player, either Stockton or that player, then I got to ask all kind of questions. Do I get to know who I'm playing, who I'm putting on the floor with Stockton? Stockton by himself, I ain't taking. It's a lot of people that I'm taking before him. So that's that. So that's what bumped Stockton, like you said, not even top 30 or 35. But all those accomplishments, I do give him credit for all them damn assists, all-time leader in assists and steals. But
Pistol Pete was raw too. Pistol Pete, Pete Maravich was a motherfucker too, man. But still, I'm still not putting Western. And again, man, yeah, Jerry was putting up numbers, but again, Jerry can't score better than fucking James Harden can, bro. And I hate James Harden. I hate him. But I mean, James Harden is blowing all of his numbers out of the water. And I know he's still not better than him all time, of course, because he had one shit or whatever. But when it's all said and done, you'll definitely be able to make, with the path that fucking James Harden is on, you'll be able to fucking make the argument. We didn't even mention Jason Kidd. I mean, Jason Kidd's definitely, Jason Kidd's up there. Jason Kidd's one of the top 5 point guards of all time, and he got a ring. I mean, you know what I'm saying? His impact. Where you putting Gary Payton? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Gary Payton was offense and defense. People forget that Gary Payton was a 20 points and 10 assists guy, and he was gonna get you what, 3? He led the league in steals. He's a lockdown defender, one of the very few lockdown defenders you had in the history of the fucking NBA. Come on, man, stop it.
Yeah, no, I rank Gary Payton real high.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit. The glove, motherfucker. What? Are you serious? How you gonna leave him out? How can you leave him out of any conversation? But that's just it. Go back and you look at those players. People leave out people like you just mentioned, Bernard King. Motherfucker just left him out. Willis Reed. They just left them motherfuckers out. Like they wasn't even around. So again, when we talk about this whole construct of who's the greatest, you got a long list of motherfuckers that you can throw out there, eye candy or stats or a long list. Now, obviously, there are going to be some that have more stats than others, and it is a matter of personal preference. What era did you grow up watching? What era is more closely related to your generation? So that's why I try to keep the argument as balanced as possible by saying you can't just narrow it down, because it's not like football. It's not like, okay, running back is running back is running back. Quarterback is quarterback. A D-back. You can't do that because basketball is a different game. You got to play on both ends, offense and defense.
Yep.
You can't just narrow it down like that.
No, I hear you.
If you look at football, for example, greatest running back. It's too many to motherfucking list. You got players like Earl Campbell. You got players like Gale Sayers. All different generations. You got players like O.J. Simpson. You got my man out of Chicago, Sweetness, Walter Payton. You got, so now what? And I haven't got to the man from Detroit who just quit at the height of his game. Then you leave out players like Bo Jackson, what's my man? Allen, Marcus Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you say is the greatest running back ever?
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard, like I said, that's gonna be a way harder argument for, you know what I'm saying, that in football, especially in those positions. Like I said, it's error depends, you know, the team they had, the line they had, the ability, the yards, and all these things, and so on and so forth. Yeah, man, it's a whole, because, and like you said, with football, you only gotta do one thing. You know what I mean? Football, that's the best thing about being in football is you only gotta do one. In basketball, you gotta do everything, bro. You gotta have abilities and, you know, multiple positions to be able to be, you know, the guy.
Well, let's deep dive, because remember back when Dick Butkus and all of them brothers, the Deacons of Defense, was playing football, clotheslining and spearing and all that shit was legal. Could some of the modern era athletes, running backs, play against defenses like that?
Hell no.
Maybe one. It's only one that came out of the modern era that I would say would have the chance, and that was because of his physicality, his brute strength, and the way he played the game. Maybe two. I would have to go with Earl Campbell because he was just a motherfucking bruiser. You had to come get it. You just had to get it. And you had my man. What's my man name? The old nigga that had the rape charge and all that shit that aggravated. What's the nigga name, man? Come on, help me out.
Oh, had a rape charge, a running back?
Well, no, he had the assault shit back in the day. Old cat, man. He played at Syracuse. Jim Brown.
Jim Brown had a charge.
Well, he didn't have a rape.
Jim Brown is known for like 8 different things before the rape charge.
Hold on.
Yeah, you fucked me up. I didn't even know that. You taught me some shit. I like shit.
Let me go back, and I don't think it was a rape charge per se. I think it was a aggravated assault charge he had against a female. So I don't want to put no dirt on the man's name out of all the work he's doing.
They say I would take AP though. I would take AP anywhere. I would take Barry Sanders because you just can't catch. Barry Sanders is too elusive. You can't catch. No one can catch Barry Sanders. And Emmett, man. So everybody always shit on Emmitt Smith, man. They don't give Emmett no. They say, oh, this nigga had the best O line of all time, and I'm like, still, man, it's plenty of motherfuckers who had great O lines, but they were still trash. Okay, so if that was the case, like, why the fuck wasn't the other running back as good as they was than Emmitt Smith was? Emmitt Smith still had to be able to run the fucking ball, man.
Well,
Emmitt Smith was the guy in the 90s.
Right, but if you take outside of Barry Sanders, that's a great argument. So you put Barry Sanders behind that goddamn line that Emmitt Smith had. What do you have? He runs away with the fucking most yards ever in the NFL. Nobody ever catches him. Nobody ever gets close to him. So there is a difference there. There's a huge difference. Point blank and period. You put Walter Payton behind that offensive line that goddamn that your boy had over there in Dallas, and nobody ever fucking catches him as far as yards are concerned.
That's what we used to always say in Michigan when we was watching Barry. That, oh man, if Barry had Emmitt's O-line, there would have been curtains. We used to that was a conversation.
That shit wouldn't have been fair,
right? Because that means Barry used to be 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, juking and shaking niggas. So what if he would have been able to break free? You know, Emmitt was going untouched until
that shit would not have. The bottom line with that is, I'm not taking anything away from Emmitt Smith. Great athlete, great running back. At the end of the day, if you put Barry Sanders behind that offensive line, goddamn it, that bitch will have 50,000 goddamn yards. and multiple motherfucking championships. It would be no discussion if you put him back there for 10 years.
He still got Emmett. Still had to have the ability, though, man. Like I said,
I'm not taking that. I'm not taking again. Fantastic. Again, fantastic. Not taking anything from Emmitt Smith.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people in general. You bring up Emmitt Smith, man. I remember, like I said, the Cowboys became America's team in the '90s, like for sure. And like I said, bro, I remember fucking Emmitt Smith, bro. That motherfucker was, bro. He was running over niggas. He was juking. He wasn't juking niggas on the level of Barry Sanders, but like Barry. I mean, he was a step behind. He was clearly a step behind Barry Sanders, and just natural talent and ability. But still, like when it came to output and putting that motherfucker in the end zone and shit like that, man, Emmitt Smith was getting it done, man. I remember seeing them. I remember watching both of those Super Bowls, that they won. And I remember looking at Troy Aikman, big long head ass. I'm just like, oh my God, this guy is just what the fuck? No, it's no way they would have won them fucking Super Bowls without Emmitt Smith, bro. Just wasn't gonna do it. And I think it was maybe like a handful of motherfuckers you could have put in the same position. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Barry Sanders included, of course, that could have took Emmitt Smith's place, and you still had the output that Emmitt Smith was giving you on that team, even with the O-line.
All right, let me give y'all some information. This is, I don't know if you got it. I don't know what you how you get shit through your military channels. And I know the Navy is quite different than the Army. But this is a new edict that was put out by the Army, okay, pertaining to the coronavirus. All right. It says here through official military channels, the coronavirus is large in size, where the cell diameter is 400 to 500 microns, and for this reason, any mask prevents its entry. The virus does not settle in the air, but on the ground, so it is not transmitted by air. The coronavirus, when it falls onto a microsurface, it will live 12 hours after washing hands with soap and water. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. When it falls onto a microsurface, it will live 12 hours. So washing your hand with soap and water is well enough. You don't need all that extra shit they telling you need to buy and hand sanitizers and all that shit. General soap and water will do. The coronavirus, when it falls into a fabric, remains for 9 hours. So washing clothes and being exposed to the sun for 2 hours meets the purpose of killing it. So if you go out in the sun and you're outside for 2 hours, the virus can't live in the sunlight. All right. The virus lives on hands for 10 minutes. So putting alcohol sanitizers in your pocket meets the purpose of prevention. The virus is exposed to temperatures. When the virus is exposed to temperatures of 26 to 27 degrees Celsius, it will be killed. Summertime approaching, therefore, we know that the temperatures will increase on the surface of the earth. So it looks like they're saying that the summertime should kill this virus for the most part. Also, drinking hot water and sun exposed will do a trick. So stay away from ice cream and eating cold items. This is important. All right. Gargle with warm salt and water. Kills the tonsil germs and prevents them from leaking this virus into your lungs. Antiseptics like Listerine is a good way to prevent the virus from spreading if you should come in contact with it. Adherent to these intrusive fungus for the purpose of preventing the virus will save your life. Follow a few simple steps and you should be free from contracting the virus. Official military, that's official military fucking channels that shit came through.
Well, hell, they just need to start letting motherfuckers go back on leave, man. Fuck all that shit. God damn it. You got it figured out. God damn it. Let me take some time off, motherfucker.
Oh no, man! You know you don't get no time off. That shit's a wrap, baby.
You can't go nowhere. Man. Yeah, you can't go nowhere, man. You can't go nowhere.
Well, they got. I don't know what they're doing in the Navy, but they only got essential personnel only working, which is why I got to take my ass to work tonight.
No, bro. Yeah, all of us essential, bro.
All right, y'all. I got to call it quits on this damn.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Bernard, man.
Yeah, appreciate you too, man.
Good looking, Bernard.
Yeah, I haven't even ate nothing today. So I gotta get some food in my stomach. I'll pass out in this damn chair. But, all right, yeah. Thanks everybody who came in here, who hit the like button. If you ain't hit it on your way out. And that's gonna be a wrap. Peace out, fellas.
All right, out.